Hello?
If you read a book and
Hello?
a book, you'd be very hard pressed to find a report that's going to give you $5,000 back. I think they're just doing it for them just to be nice to people. That's not what we were talking about. We were talking about being sued from the subject against the author.
Okay, let's just bring up an example at this point. So if I show one bio.
No, if you show one, that does not mean it happens all the time.
Okay, so if I show two, how many do you need for you to
define all the time? Define all the time. You never defined it.
It happens. It exists.
Okay, 5% of it is 5% all the time. It's 5% all the time.
I told you how I defined it. So.
Well, not barn that's coming up.
It
Can't be
exists.
doing all that.
Oh, it exists?
No,
you said all the time.
Yeah, all the time.
You never defined.
You're right. You get a disclaimer. It helps you. Yeah, you're right.
You know, just because bandits agree with me doesn't mean you automatically have to jump on that wagon, right?
I've been in the industry for 20 years.
It's my job.
More than your life.
Okay.
He's been in the industry for more than half your life.
And he doesn't know that disclaimers are in biography?
I literally said that they are unauthorized biographies. I said that earlier. I said there's unauthorized biographies. I said it's a marketing ploy, or it makes a puppet.
It's a massive troll.
People put disclaimers in their Clubhouse profiles.
They do, and it really helps.
That's serious. Like, no one's gonna sue for defamation on Clubhouse.
Oh yeah. Using the word unserious is comical.
Times, well, she lived how many decades?
I ain't talking about that.
You're not talking about what?
So she was 3 times bigger.
Oh, that's nasty.
Mr. Resilient said, I don't gotta read what the man said. Because see, he said, I think Whitney Houston. No, he said, Whitney Houston is bigger than Aretha Franklin, in my opinion. And I'm looking at the images, and that's just not true. Huh?
You need help. I told you not to drink that. You sure you want to come up, Paola? I told you not to drink that coffee. I love your dick. Oh. Oh, wait. They were chatting in the kitchen closet.
The original point was about preventing it. I see y'all's argument about candidates being able to prevent or be able to have a say, but I think I'm aside with the court on this one. I think that people should be able to make political ads without the candidate's permission.
So I had a scenario that I was thinking about before I left at the call. And I'm like, okay, what if, I'm running for, I don't know, whatever. I'm running for mayor. And someone picks it up, a super PAC picks it up.
Mm-hmm.
But they are KKK associated.
Mm-hmm.
And then they go picking it up and saying, yeah, go and support her. She's going to do us right. I don't want my name attached to that. Like, I don't want my face. Like, what's going on?
Well, they have to watch this, a disclaimer. They have to say that the person is not affiliated with the campaign. There could be real damages on that.
But you don't know. But that's the thing, that it could be an innuendo. I could be saying she supports us as Americans, not as the KKK.
I know, it's tough. That's what I'm saying. Election law is very, very tough.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. When you say you side with the court, I'm like, I think the ability to come in and talk about it and then have someone judge is the most likely thing that I would like to see happen. Not that it's an automatic, the super PAC has the power to do so. If I want to be disassociated with it, there should be a process to allow me to do that.
No.
Especially if I can't contact them and tell them to take this shit down.
No, you're a public figure. No, so when you decide to run, all of that is on offer. It's all on offer. Grand Platinum. I'll give a better example. When I run for Senate, all of the back channels of me getting titty pics, requesting titty pics, the videos, the meetups at the Whole Foods for hand jobs, the trips that I've taken with about 5-6 women on here, the foursome that I had on here was a female, male foursome. All of those things, all the Kitover recordings, all of that is on offer. Once I open myself up, to that sort of scrutiny, it's all Grand Platinum's text. If that lady turns those texts over, well, that may also have to do with, what's it called? When you have two-way consent, both party consent, or whatever that's called. That may be a little different. See, it all falls into different types of law, telecommunications law. It's kind of messy. But all this is to say is that somebody could have a super PAC and say, look, there was this guy named Van. He was in the back channels. 3 of us met up at one time. We had some bourbons, and next thing he got her pussy.
No. It's too early for the cat word.
The Leaning Tower of Pussy. They'll call me the Don Giovanni. Clubhouse knew I had hurricane season like Adina. They'd be like, a mille tre.
He got 3,500 hoes in different areas.
Yes.
So different clubhouse houses and rooms and privates and all that shit. 3,500
Yes.
and counting, okay?
In Turquía no vacuna ma in España. In España son ya mille tre. Huh? That's I got the whole Rolodex. That's all gonna be available. Everything I'm saying in disclaimers was very common. Just show me one. I've got multiple biographies here. None of them have disclaimers in them.
Also, before you go back to that.
So remember, ban Shishita because if 0. Oh, sorry.
I'm
Yeah, 0.
I'm looking at articles.
But you never define the number. So if it's 2%, then you're right.
To define a number.
But if it's 2%, then you're correct.
All the time does not mean a fixed number.
It can mean 2%, right? It can mean 2%.
I mean, it could mean like it happened. Like
Wait, it could mean what?
It happens.
It happens.
It could have happened 21 times.
So
out of $1 million bucks, right?
okay, I don't really care what you're talking about right now. I'm reading articles by
Yeah, but you want people to care about what you're talking about. You want people to care about what you're talking about.
I mean, if you don't, it's not gonna affect me.
She's just
Yeah, but
making
it's
it so she can't be wrong.
No,
You're arguing so you can't be wrong.
You're talking to you don't care about the person's assertions, but you want to care about yours.
Okay, CEO has already been rude to me, so it's fine. And then you asked me to come up to talk about this stuff. I don't know.
I know, but we're talking to the wrong hoe.
No, you're not. You're still talking about it.
Well, you see it. We agree. It happens, but it does not happen all the time.
Okay, well, I'm reading articles by lawyers that say that it's very common.
Oh,
It's not a
Lincoln.
now, you asked what the word prevent meant. You said you didn't know what prevent meant.
No, I didn't say I didn't.
You said I was playing word games on the word prevent.
Oh my God, you're yelling in my ear. Let me turn
Because
it
you
down.
are a troll.
I'm not trolling.
I said can it prevent? You said I'm playing word games. The word was prevent.
Oh my God.
Go to work.
When I,
Go study.
okay, bro.
Hey, let me do you like, let me do you like we did, Kalisha. Go study. Get off the app. Go pass the test. Get off the bitch. Go. We want you to win. Stop talking to us. We're old. He passed the bar. I drink at 1. Go. Get off of this. And stop talking to Sandata on here. Go let your brain up. Go.
That is true. Right? Isn't the bar exam like in a week or so?
I have no idea what it is. Why are you talking to me? Get in the books.
Exactly. Get off this app and go past that bar.
Go past the fuck up.
Then come back.
That's why I'm yelling.
Come
Like,
back
talking
with
to
your
me.
class and feelings on us and tell us to suck a dick. That's what you need.
Yes.
Is it Bible study yet?
Yes. Pass the bitch and say, man, you're a bum. I passed it. I had to move her down. In fact, how can I block her off the app?
Block her until July 4th, because she really does need to go and study.
Yes, get off this bitch. God, first lady.
I have nothing.
Gotta come back in for a Van Quick crash out. Go read a book, retard!
But I think the benefits outweigh those kinds of negatives. And I think the benefit, not the benefits, what the First Amendment is trying to do. I just don't think I don't think a candidate should be able to control my speech.
So you talked about all the back channels and all that. Obviously, a super PAC can use it to be against you, right? I'm talking about what if, like, they're being positive about it, and I don't want their support.
You can't control their speech, though.
But I don't want it.
It doesn't matter when you're not.
I should be these people singing my praises. I get it.
Ain't nobody singing your praises.
Speech, but what they stand for is
what if I don't want it?
I don't want to be associated with the KKK. Hello? Am I audible?
Bitch, you a racist. You laughed your ass off when Charlie Kirk got killed.
So would that be just during the campaign? I mean, because I could imagine, like, you know, I understand what you're saying, but I think the implications of that could be really expansive, right? So do people in a public setting get to talk about, like, how far does that extend, right? So at a public event, you can't say, hey, you know, I'm supporting so-and-so. Is it just in commercials or video? Like, you know, like how far would that speech go? I think that would be really hard, you know, to sort of disaggregate when you get to support someone or when your freedom of speech, you know, when you get to have your freedom of speech, and then when you know, you're limited, you know, if you couldn't say that. I mean, I think the endorsement is important. So, you know, I'm so-and-so and I endorse this message. Yeah, but you can't disentangle that. I don't see how you'd be able to do it.
Yeah, I mean, the one today is tough because out to the New York Daily News piece aside, I mean, the candidate might not like Anthropic, but I'm sure he loves the ad. Today is kind of tricky too. What if you like the ad? To your point, for say, what if you like the ad and you want the exposure, and even if it's good, but you don't like the people? So the KKK is an extreme example, but the one from today is really interesting because
I think the only way to post. Okay, sorry. I recognize I'm tired of your class. I think the only way to go about that is to indirectly offend the people that you don't want to support you. So, for instance, like y'all remember when Gucci did that runway and they had the noose around the neck, and it was like all the black people were outraged. Like, I can't believe Gucci would do this. And some people were like, well, it makes perfect sense if they feel like you are bringing down, you know, the image of their fashion or whatever, or you know, you're not the ideal to offend the people who will support you, and then hopefully they won't support you anymore. I guess, maybe. Maybe not.
Sorry, Penny. I didn't hear your submission. I only heard part of it. So.
No, I'm just saying, I just like indirectly disrespect the people that you don't want supported.
I mean, you can, Trump, played around with the KKK, and the KKK helped him win. It mobilized some folks. He spent a lot of time not distancing himself from people and then pretending that he never met them, and it got him more airtime, and people were like, you know what, I could vote for him. So I think people will. I think if you want a person to win, and you realize that you are a controversial, or I think you do that stuff on the cool, right? I would hope. In channels, I think we have so many different, right? So, only when it becomes there's sort of crossover, crosstalk, and I don't know the extent to which that's always the case. So I think in some spaces, even the most problematic folks are able to get out their support and to the right people, right? I think they have their lanes of communication. I think it works, and the white supremacists, Christian nationalists, white nationalists, got enough from the right people, I think, to also help them, get people out to vote for them.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, political ads is like, this is probably already been said, but I'll just say it for the sake of my own voice being heard. Like, political ads, for all intents and purposes, are not deciders of elections. And so, like, while they can shape impressions and may feed to sort of the worldview of particular voters, they don't actually, like, normally it's the people who are persuaded by an ad are people who already had a worldview that sort of align with that ad. So there's an example that I can give, which is from the 90s. There was an a political ad maker by the name of Alex Castellanos. And Alex was the guy behind the ad with the white glove. There was a white glove in the ad. In fact, I'm going to try to find it and then share it. And I do believe people talked about that ad forever after the election. Like, that was the deciding factor. That was a deciding factor. Similarly, in 2006, I think, 2005-6, Harold Ford Jr., he was a then congressman representing the congressional district that included Memphis, Tennessee. He ran for the United States Senate against a guy named Bob Corker. And the last few weeks of an ad, weeks of the campaign, they ran an ad that made Harold Ford Jr. look as if he was courting a bunch of white women. And he was unmarried at the time. There were rumors that he dated white women. He eventually married one, but at the time he was not married. sort of a general way, maybe I've tipped the scale, but the voters who were persuaded by that ad already believed that worldview, already had that worldview. So my general view and stake on like particularly money in elections and particularly around ads is that piece. I think the most nefarious component to political ads in general are the ones that are on social media because it's harder to track who those are funded by, and so I don't really take a whole lot of stake in like, oh, it's really the funder that supports the thing. Like the people who would like that ad are like probably like the ad without the ad. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And to your point, I mean, I think of, the ads that work to some degree are the ones that we remember, right? So we talk about Alex Castellanos, however you pronounce his name, and I'm also thinking about like the Swift Boat Veterans for Justice or whatever.
Brother, I'm gonna back channel you something. Before you finish, I'm just gonna back channel you something. When you finish, I want you to look, and please do not come off mute. Do not yell. Do not think differently of me. But I'm gonna send you something off just about this point. I didn't know you was gonna say it, but I'm gonna send it to your back channel.
Okay. So I was just thinking, I agree. I think there's some that provide or that shape. They help shape narratives, but to your point, I don't know the extent to which they completely change minds, or do they maybe amplify things that people don't. If you already were inclined not to like this person, might it motivate you? It'd be like the extra oomph that you need to go out and vote, or not vote. Does it actually switch minds? I don't know. I know people have written a lot about this, but I'm curious. Okay, did you send it?
I think it's.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
So for me, I don't know, Imam, when you got, we're specifically talking about the cover of the New York Daily News. That was a news piece we were talking about because it was paid for by a super PAC, Boras or whatever. Had no say in it, but it's the cover and it looks like a real cover, but it was actually an ad that was paid for. But it was actually an ad that was paid for by a super PAC that's really anthropic. And so this is my view on ads. I've read a lot of articles on it. I've talked to people who studied it for a living, and I can find someone that agrees exactly with what your mama says. I can find someone who disagrees with everything she said. I can find 80,000 people in the middle. I think it's one of these things where if it works, it worked. If it didn't work, but you have to spend the money so that it works. It's like running a trick play in football. Trick plays oftentimes don't work. They're abortive, you lose 15 yards. But if they work, they work. And so you got to run a trick play. And the other thing about it is, one thing I dislike about it is a lot of the research spends a lot of time, not all of it, but a lot of it does on presidential election in the general. I'm interested in a lot of this stuff in primaries, local races. Are there 10 people versus 2 people? I think when you begin to control for and put in different variables, I think it could matter. I also wonder, I'm going to ask somebody about this, about the effect on turnout is. Right? So maybe you don't persuade anybody, and a particular ad is not dispositive one way or another, but it gets the people going, in a particular way. So, and then I wonder, Boras is in a very tight race, and people get the Daily News. So everybody that's on the train, whether you get the Daily News or not, I saw this morning. You walk past, you go to the train, you see it. Oh look, there's what's the name right there? It's Boras. So there's a way in which it's it's very complex. So we were talking about that because he did not have any say on whether or not they were going to run that ad. But we can change the topic. I think somehow we got trolled into that other topic. I got to stop falling.
Who gets the people going?
I mean, it's not. That's my own fault.
You love it. Whatever.
No, I don't. I don't.
You did.
When someone says, "What do you mean by the word prevent?" You're playing word games. I don't love that. I actually lost 8 pounds as soon as she said that. All the blood fell out of my ears. What do you mean by prevent?
Anyway, what happened to Joy Reid?
Yeah, I'm gonna play this afternoon. I can't play it right now.
Oh.
I mean, like I'll be able to play it in like 25, 30, like 25, like 20 minutes. If people want. But Patty's here. She might want to play it. A good time.
I think she's out. I don't think she's audible today. Told you. She said I can't. I'm outside. Well, brother, I don't know if I got a chance to say Happy Father's Day to you yesterday. I know I said it to the space, but Happy Father's Day. Hope you enjoy it. Happy Father's Day to all the wonderful men that are here, whether you have kids or not. If you are a father for and you have nephews, nieces, dogs, and if you father and love them, Happy Father's Day to you as well. All right, it's 12:30 p.m., 12:31 to be exact. That was a great conversation in regards to the Super PAC. I learned something today. You know, that's what money, that's the power of money. Money can buy anything. And now I've learned that money can buy anything as well as controlling the other person and saying, I'm going to write this about you whether you want me to or not because you're a public figure. My. Hey, that's the world we live in today. I think somebody needs to repeal that. That's just my thoughts. So, that was part of the discussion today that led into another discussion. Some kind of way we got on Vons.
CEO isn't here.
Oh, he was. He was in here for a good old
I
time.
know.
Oh, you waited for him to leave for you to say that. You say that?
No, the band asked the question. Just asking if he was still here.
But I'm saying you should have came up and asked him what you needed to ask him.
I mean, it was a good conversation. I don't want to ruin the.
I'm sure that would have been a better conversation.
I'll come back.
Let me see if I can ping him back.
Yeah, bring it back.
But yeah, I saw JD Vance is like going to the next level now because Iran has agreed to allow the inspectors to come back in. Agreed to allow this. That's all I know.
Oh, did y'all report on Alan Greenspan?
Oh, and Clive Davis.
Oh, wow. Oh, is that why y'all started talking about Whitney?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Y'all know, well, Ben probably knows this, but y'all know that Andrea Mitchell is Alan Greenspan's wife.
Yeah. That's wild.
And for those that are new to the space, Clive Davis, at the age of 94, on June 22nd, 2026, is no longer amongst the living. I haven't seen that come across CNN yet. I've been waiting for that. Is this for certain?
Yeah. It's, major news outlets have broke the news.
Okay. All right. Cool.
Another piece
Yeah.
of
So.
news. Can
Go
you-
ahead. Yeah, that's.
Yeah, another piece of news is that a deconfliction mechanism has been established for the ceasefire in Lebanon, which excludes Israel. Remember what I was saying about the Qatar, Egypt, Turkey, and others taking momentum away from Israel in Lebanon? Seems that that's happening.
Yeah, I was wondering where you were, Neo. I figured you were, hard at work, trying to get this MOU signed. Once it felt like it was all gonna be for naught. So I hope hopefully you get this signed. But yeah, this looks ridiculous. Again. So is this just how it's gonna be? Are we? Is they gonna kick it down the hallway until have to wait for a new president? 'Cause I just don't see it. I don't even see how we get to the nuclear deal. I mean, I'm a nobody, so there's no reason why I should, but I just. I don't know. There's nothing about this that is like, that I feel like this is going to be long lasting.
Have you guys talked about the role that J.D. Vance has played in this, given his previous hesitancy about war, and particularly going into Iran? Have you guys actually talked about that, or just kind of in passing?
I think when he was on The View, he was actually responding to some of those questions.
Yeah.
But as a personal response, I don't think people have personally responded to it.
Yeah, he's been. I think Kim. I mentioned this yesterday, but if you guys haven't seen his Ross Dudot interview on the New York Times podcast, his New York Times podcast, he also gets into this a little bit, but it's obviously less hostile because Ross he was more focused on the sort of his new book, but I think it's interesting that he was sort of a complete naysayer to going into Iran, and specifically the type of the way in which they went into Iran, but now it's become the face of the deal or potential deals, which is always interesting to me because as the VP you get assigned the task, and so it's going to be interesting to see how once sort of the dust settles. I mean, this probably won't be over in 2027 when he's running for president, but the sort of role that he plays now will certainly be part of the conversation if he is a presidential nominee in 2027, 2028.
Yeah, I think this is revival of his dead political career and his potential presidential run. At least that's probably how he sees it. It obviously hinges on the Iran deal not backfiring again. But yeah, he's back in the conversation, and he's back in the conversation sounding relatively sane and, dare I say, on this issue, kind of centrist.
Yeah, I mean, I actually have a very different worldview, and maybe because I think wars are so unpredictable, foreign policy is so unpredictable, and can make or break presidential candidates. I just have a very different worldview. I think he is back in the conversation, not invisible like he was before. I don't know if this is great for him. Actually, if I were him, I would be worried because even though he's assigned a face, right, as being the spokesperson for the deal and the administration, but he doesn't get to make the choices. So the choices that the administration makes and the president of the United States makes are the ones that will decide his fate as whether or not this was like impact taints or helps his worldview on or his campaign as he runs for president. Now, the one thing that always happens in U.S. elections, as you all know, on presidential candidates, there's always about like, oh, they don't have foreign policy experience. So this does give him that. But I think it's POA numerous times in the conversation. Yeah, it's an interesting thing.
Someone who's made portfolio or dossier is foreign policy. No one's ever won the presidency. It's one of the great ironies, and I don't know why people immediately, like you just said, I don't know why we all have foreign policy experience. No one cares. No one cares. Those with the most foreign policy experience in our lifetime never win. Ever. Except 88.
It's so funny because you said that because the best, I will not say who the best person was, but on paper, the most qualified person on foreign policy in 2004 couldn't get out of Iowa.
Yeah.
On paper, in terms of like their career, not just on foreign policy, but as like their full career.
I know who it is. When we say,
Yeah. No, you say
General Clark.
no.
Bob
Graham.
Oh, I completely forgot.
He couldn't even make it out of Iowa. 2-term governor, United States senator, sat on foreign policy, wrote the 9/11 commission, was part of the 9/11 commission, couldn't make it out of Iowa.
Did Bill Richardson ever run for president?
He did.
Same thing. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I hope they run on this. I mean, it would be amazing if J.D. Vance decided to run for president on an Iran deal in which, as Jarl wants to remind us, although we talk about it all the time, they killed 156. I mean, we were literally talking about it yesterday. 156 schoolgirls. What's the name went up? Gas price. I would love that. It basically good. I mean, he said yesterday that the big. Did you see anything on Liver? What the big breakthrough was yesterday? You literally there, or are you marinating meat?
I think she's on the phone.
Oh, okay. Did you guys see what he said?
She's come to the doctor or something.
Oh, so it was a Soviet landline. Oh, he's got to go through. He's got to get permissions from Comintern to be allowed to. No, it didn't make me mad, Jarl. We talked about it yesterday. But it's exactly right. If people want to run all that, like that's all going to come up. It's going to come up with the AI discussion. I really hope they do, because Americans. I think that's horrible. No one's mad, brother. No one's mad at all. It was just good timing that you said that with the conversation. We know you're not listening to the conversation, but it was good timing nonetheless. But the big breakthrough yesterday, for those of you who didn't watch the J.D. Vance press conference, if you said this, I apologize. I was taking care of an ablution. Was they're going to agree to UN inspectors. Anyone see that? Anyone see that?
Yeah, I saw it. Yeah.
No,
That was the big breakthrough yesterday.
What was the big break yesterday?
Iran's going to agree to UN inspectors.
That's.
So when I heard
I
that,
just said that. I just said that.
Oh, okay. I said I was away. If someone said it, I apologize. But anyway, when I heard that, I cut 2 toes off.
Yeah, I did.
That was the whole problem with the Obama deal. Oh, these UN inspectors are just bureaucrats. We can't trust them. Huh? So I hope they run on it. J.D. Vance can't be. I think maybe this is his way to get back in the news before he begins to shift to domestic affairs, because they're going to have to. He's essentially going to be running on the Trump record, right? Domestically, and that's what people are going to be voting for. So, I apologize for today. I was taking care of pollution. Do you want to know what it was?
No, I'm okay. I was just teasing. Because you know, if somebody else would did that to you, you can say, I just said that. I just said that.
But did I give a disclaimer? That's going to be word of the day. Can I tell you what my illusion was?
No, I don't want to.
I'll tell you what it was.
No.
I'm going to tell you.
You were
I
getting
went
those
to
hairs.
my next door neighbor's alligator and told him the next time he eats a baby, even though it's evil, to get a disclaimer.
Oh my
Same
God.
person. It's the same person.
Leave that child alone.
My God.
Same person. What does prevent me? And alligators know notions of evil. I don't understand that. Just stay there. So what have they gotten that's different than the Obama deal?
Nothing yet.
What wasn't proved besides, I guess, the threat of bombing? They keep saying threat of bombing. Is there anything else that's
I know. No, there is something major that I don't think we actually discussed.
Oh, good.
And that is the fact that this will not be coming out of the U.S. tax dollars to pay them back. They'll be getting just their sanction money that was held. Isn't that different?
No, that was true for Obama, too.
That's not different?
No, Obama,
they just say
that it was like $300 million that had been frozen, and it accumulated a bunch of money, their own money. I don't think there was any tax dollars.
Yeah, why would we be giving them tax dollars if we didn't destroy infrastructure during the Obama administration?
No, but she said that's what they say. That's what
we're gonna have to pay for it. They're gonna have to pay for it. They gotta rebuild that infrastructure.
Oh no. Vaughn said no. Vaughn said no. No. Vaughn said no.
So in the JP 3.0 and 3.6, it's part of it's one of the last phases. So they're gonna end up paying for it. Whether they get it from the GCC countries, I don't know where the fuck they're gonna get the money. It's gotta be paid for. They're gonna have to put that infrastructure back.
Oh, wait a minute. Now, I don't know where Matt got this from, but Matt says, breaking. Tucker Carlson announces he is no longer supporting the Republican Party. There's no chance I would support the Republican Party. How could I, or any American voters, support a political party that's not loyal to the United States of America?
DC was right.
Liberal now?
He ain't nobody. He just a nobody. He gonna vote for the Republicans.
Y'all are feeding the Christian authority to Tucker Carlson, and that's the problem. I don't want to have that conversation.
Well, you're right. CC told us he was going to introduce Medicare for all, and all the Democrats are going to vote for Tucker Carlson. So there you go. He'll be right back voting for
Exactly.
Party in 2020.
Hello.
You will probably support J.D. Vance. I think his son actually working for J.D. Vance, or was working something like that.
They'll do that thing where they'll be like, Trump did so much, so important, but, I think he lost his way there, but we can really pick up MAGA. But you're right, JD. You're right, Marco. Okay, I'm back on. I can't vote for a Democrat. I can't vote for Joe also. This guy. And so they'll do the thing where they, they'll say, like a lot of quote independents do. Both sides are bad, but I'll spend my 5 minutes bashing Democrats and not saying anything about Republicans. It'll be that sort of thing. Come election time.
Y'all are thinking like retarded. That's the problem.
That's true. I want to be retarded.
if you will become communist, then the French lady substitute the socialist.
Yeah.
Not.
Good you on that. Oh God.
She tried to act like she didn't say that either. That was the craziest thing.
Oh yeah, that was wild. I'm gonna be honest with you. That was the one thing I did hear. I couldn't understand that one. Y'all were using her bag. I couldn't hear shit, but I heard retarded. I was like, oh.
BWA called me retarded for a month after that.
That was hilarious. Okay, I have a question. This is not related to
You can't be at Costco's again. You just
I'm
can't.
not, ma'am. And if I am, I'm helping stimulate the economy. What are you stimulating? What am I gonna need?
Well, I hope to
You
stimulate.
took the PTR. I mean,
Oh, no, I'm sorry. I apologize for that. That was inappropriate. I need to clean my patio furniture. What do y'all use to clean like the cushions?
yeah, I do. Go to I get it from you can get it from Wayfair or Crate and Barrel or Zompton Reach. You get new cushions.
Yeah, nobody uses them. They buy new ones.
You just buy new ones. No, that's okay. You just buy new ones.
You buy new ones every year.
Yeah.
I got 12 kids. I can't do that.
They're not expensive.
The one that I have on, yes.
Well, you should have covered them or took them back in the house.
I did, but I used it. I normally take them. So normally I take them off for the off season. I didn't. I bought a cover, but the cover didn't do a great job. So I'm trying to see if I could. It's not. See, y'all are. I don't know why I asked y'all. I'm clearly.
Put plastic on it. You should put plastic on your cushions like the old school people did.
Well, I'm gonna have to.
So, Brandon, can you repeat your question? Because I couldn't hear it. I just want to make sure I understand.
Yeah, I was talking to the elite on stage, clearly, but I was just asking, does anybody have like a solution or that they use to help clean their patio furniture? Like, like if people use a mix, like buy something already pre-made, or mix their own. I saw like white with little vinegar and stuff like that. I have that stuff, but I was just asking.
You can actually reach out to the manufacturer and they can give you like the guidelines for cleaning.
Okay.
Yeah, they're gonna also send you a pamphlet on how to reorder.
Well, a lot of times for people will buy extra casings because they're like different components. Like you have the foam and then like the outer shell, like the zipper. Sometimes casings can be washed, but not all the time. So it's usually the easiest to just reach out to the manufacturer and just figure out what can be used to clean it.
I'll at least do that before I just buy all new stuff. I've already looked at this stuff, and it's more than I want to spend. But I'll do that first. Thank you.
And depending on how long you have it, it might be like a limited warranty. So depending on like what actually happened, like if it's fading, because it might not be. Is it dirty or is it fading?
Yeah, it's just like it's just dirty. I had a cover on it, but it's still like dirt that got on the cushion and stuff. It wasn't when you cut the grass, some of the grass got underneath the stuff. So I just want to clean it. I just want to sort of clean it. I have a little
tools and for the pressure, a pressure washer. I was gonna use that. He wanted to know. I don't see anything out here, but I'll see if the manufacturer has something. I'll start from there. That's expensive. I can't do that. At the time. I'll come in. All right, I'll meet up. Thank you.
Well, for the fourth time, because it's on the chat again, wonderful contributor to music,
Clive Davis.
Mr. Clive Davis, has passed on.
No!
Not sure of his glory.
No! Clive Davis. No! And Alan Greenspan, the greatest.
Throughout the years.
कि बड़ी हैरानी की बात है कि जब से यहां आए हैं समय कैसे गुजर जैसे भी आया अभी गया। जब तुम मस्ती में हो तो समय शीघ्रता से भागता है, जब तुम दुख में हो समय ठिठक ठिठक के चलता है, चलते ही नहीं, जैसे घड़ी जंग खा जाती, कांटे सरकते नहीं। और जब तुम आनंद में होते हो तो कांटे भागते हैं। दुखी आदमी क्या करे, उसके भीतर एक रिक्तता मालूम होती है, एक गड्ढा मालूम होता है। इसलिए सागर, मैं कहता हूं कि भोजन ज्यादा करना दुखी आदमी का लक्षण। मैं तुमसे नहीं कहता उपवास करो, मेरे तुम बात को समझना। मेरी बात हर जगह पुरानी तथाकथित रूढ़ियों से बिल्कुल विपरीत है। मैं उपवास का आनंद समझता हूं, लेकिन मैं ये नहीं कहता कि तुम उपवास करो, मैं कहता हूं तुम आनंदित हो जाओ। फिर अगर उपवास घट जाए वह बात और, तब उपवास का मजा और। लेकिन उपवास मत करना, उपवास से आनंद नहीं घटेगा। तुम्हें समझाया गया सदियों से कि उपवास करोगे तो आत्मानंद मिलेगा, ये बात झूठ। हाँ, इससे उल्टी बात सच है, आत्मानंद मिले तो उपवास घट सकता है, मगर अपरिहार्यता नहीं कि घटना ही चाहिए, अनिवार्यता नहीं। ये प्रत्येक व्यक्ति की अलग अलग शारीरिक जरूरतों पर निर्भर होगा, और प्रत्येक व्यक्ति की शारीरिक जरूरतें बिल्कुल अलग अलग हैं, बिल्कुल भिन्न भिन्न। पर तुमने पूछा है कि फिर महात्मागण क्यों मोटे होते, उसका भी कारण वही है। वो भी दुखी लोग हैं, उनका दुख तुमसे ज्यादा है। तुम्हें तो कम से कम थोड़ी आशा है कि संसार में हो तो आज नहीं कल कुछ ना कुछ पालोगे, कभी न कभी सुख मिल जाएगा। दौड़ रहे हो, लड़ रहे हो, संघर्ष कर रहे हो। महात्मा गण ने तो संसार छोड़ दिया, अब उनके एक और दोहरी चिंता हो गई कि पता नहीं उन्होंने ठीक किया है नहीं। न मालूम मुझसे कितने महात्माओं ने कहा है कि कई बार ये शंका मन में उठती, ये संदेह मन को पकड़ लेता है कि हमने ठीक किया। अगर हम ठीक है तो संसार के करोड़ों करोड़ों लोग गलत हैं। क्या इतने लोग गलत हो सकते? और फिर सब छोड़ के भी हमको कोई आनंद तो मिल नहीं रहा है। तो कहीं ऐसा तो नहीं हुआ है कि हमने भ्रांति कर ली है, अपने साथ अपने को धोखा दे लिया है? तो महात्मागण क्या करें? न काम है, न धंधा है, न ताश खेल सकते हैं, न क्लब जा सकते हैं, न सिनेमा देख सकते हैं। कोई और दूसरे तो संबंध सबके आनंद में है। आनंद ही आनंद मालूम होता है, नाम से तो अखंड आनंद। मगर अगर उनको ढंग देखो तो साफ जाहिर होता है कि आदमी दुखी है। परेशान, इनका कुल रस खाने पीने में है। मटकानाथ ब्रह्मचारी 15-20 आदमियों का भोजन हजम कर चुकने के बाद बोले, यजमान पानी लाओ। यह सुनकर यजमान के प्राणों में प्राण आए। उसने पानी का लोटा दिया। तब मटकानाथ ने कहा, वत्स, मेरी यह खानदानी आदत है कि जब तक आधा खाना ना हो जाए तब तक पानी ना पिया जाए। यजमान पर जो गुजरी वह तो तुम समझ ही गए होगे। खैर, पानी पीने के बाद उन्होंने फिर उतना ही खाना खाया। तब अपने घड़े जैसी तौन पर हाथ फेर कर वे बोले, अब इस बस में सवारियां ठसाठस भर चुकी, अब कुछ नहीं खाऊंगा। यजमान ने औपचारिकता बस कहा, नहीं नहीं महाराज। अब यजमान को डर भी नहीं था। यह एक रसगुल्ला तो और ले लीजिए। अब यजमान ने सोचा कि अब थोड़ी उदारता ही दिखा दो। जब महात्मा ने इतनी उदारता बरती है तब अपनी तरफ से भी क्या कंजूसी दिखानी। अब बर्बाद तो कर ही चुका है ये। कहा कि ये तो रसगुल्ला लेना ही होगा। पक्का भरोसा था कि वो नहीं लेंगे। कहा, यह तो खास आपके लिए ही बनाया गया है, नहीं आपको लेना ही होगा। ब्रह्मचारी ने झट से उसे लिया और गपक गए। बोले, लाओ लाओ, अभी बस में कंडक्टर की सीट खाली। मगर अब बिल्कुल भी जगह नहीं बची, पांव रखने की भी नहीं। रसगुल्ले के बाद यजमान ने एक मिस्री का बड़ा सा लड्डू देते हुए कहा, महाराज यह और ग्रहण कीजिए। सोचा कि अब तो असंभव है, अब तो कंडक्टर की जगह भी भर चुकी। इतनी कृपा तो उसने कहा, आपको मुझ तो करनी ही होगी, वरना मेरी आत्मा को बड़ा क्लेश पहुंचेगा। हमारे परिवार में परंपरा है कि मेहमान को अंत में मिश्री का लड्डू अवश्य परोसा जाए। मटकानाथ के मुंह में फिर पानी आ गया। वो बोले, ठीक है लाओ, उसे भी ठिकाने लगा दो। ऐसा कह वे उसे भी हजम कर गए। यजमान ने पूछा, महाराज एक शंका उठाई है, समाधान करिए। आपने तो कहा था कि बस में जरा सी भी जगह नहीं है, फिर ये लड्डू कहां समा गया? ब्रह्मचारी ने उत्तर दिया, वत्स, यदि बस में तिल रखने की भी जगह नहीं है और देश का प्रधानमंत्री आ जाए तो उसके लिए जगह मिलेगी कि नहीं? बस यही समझो कि मिस्री का ये लड्डू प्रधानमंत्री। फिर यजमान ने हिम्मत भी नहीं की कि अब कुछ और आगे औपचारिकता दिखाए। तुम अपने महात्माओं पर जरा ध्यान दो। और ये वही लोग हैं जो 24 घंटे तुम्हें समझा रहे कि जगत तो माया है, इस देह में क्या रखा है, ये तो मिट्टी है, ये तो सब सपना है, स्वप्नवत। और इनके शरीर देखो और इनका भोजन देखो, तब तुम समझ जाओगे कि इनकी बातों में कितनी सच्चाई है, कितना अर्थ। तुम्हारे महात्माओं में और तुम्हारी स्त्रियों में बहुत भेद नहीं है, इसलिए दोनों में तालमेल भी बैठता है। तुम्हारे महात्मा तुम्हारी स्त्रियों के सहारे ही जी रहे हैं और तुम्हारी स्त्रियों के लिए और कहीं कोई जगह नहीं जाने की, क्योंकि और जगह तुम्हें शक संदेह, एक महात्माओं पर भर नहीं तुम्हें शक संदेह होता। महात्मा तो महात्मा है, सो वहां तुम स्त्रियों को जाने देते हो। संगीतज्ञों के पास जाने नहीं दोगे, नर्तकों के पास जाने नहीं दोगे, कवियों के पास जाने नहीं दोगे। बस एक जगह तुमने छोड़ रखी, मंदिर, महात्मा। क्योंकि तुम सोचते हो कि महात्मा तो पहुंचे हुए व्यक्ति संसार को माया कह रहे हैं। तुम्हारी स्त्रियों में और तुम्हारे महात्माओं में एक तालमेल, एक षड्यंत्र। स्त्रियां ही तुम्हारे तथाकथित महात्माओं को चला रही, और तुम्हारे महात्मा भी दुखी हैं और तुम्हारी स्त्रियां भी दुखी हैं, और दुखियों में सहानुभूति पैदा हो जाती। दुखी एक दूसरे के कंधे पर सिर रख कर रोने लगते। 3 मित्र अपनी अपनी मोटी पत्नियों के बारे में चर्चा कर रहे थे। एक बोला, मेरी बीबी इतनी मोटी है कि रिक्शे वाले उसे बिठाने से मना कर देते, और तांगे वाले कहते, माफ करिए, एक बार में तो हम नहीं ले जा सकते, यदि 2 फेरी में ले जाएं तो क्या आपको कोई ऐतराज? दूसरा मित्र बोला, मेरी बीबी इतनी मोटी है कि पिछली बार जब हम लोग स्टेशन से घर आने के लिए टैक्सी में बैठने लगे तो टैक्सी ड्राइवर का झगड़ा हो गया पास में ही खड़े ट्रक ड्राइवर से। कुछ मामला यह था कि ट्रक ड्राइवर कहता था कि भाई तो हमारा धंधा चौपट की दे रहा है, ट्रक की सवारी टैक्सी में ले जा रहा है। तीसरा मित्र बोला, यह भी कुछ नहीं, तुम मेरी बीबी के किस्से सुनोगे तो सुनकर गस्त खा जाओगे। परसों शाम की बात है, मैं उसका पेटीकोट धुलवाने के लिए धोबी के यहाँ गया तो धोबी ने कहा, क्षमा कीजिए श्रीमान जी, हमारे यहाँ टेंट तंबू वगैरह धोने का काम नहीं किया जाता। दोनों दुखी हैं। स्त्रियां महात्माओं का सत्संग करती हैं, महात्माओं की सेवा करके उनको सांत्वना देती, और महात्मा पौराणिक कथाएं, व्यर्थ की झूठी कपोल कल्पित कहानियां सुना के स्त्रियों को सांत्वना देते। तीसरा प्रश्न, भगवान, मैं आपका संन्यास लेने से बहुत ही डरता हूं, कृपया अपनी शराब कुछ ऐसी पिलाएं कि मैं साहस कर सकूं। देवराज मेहता, मेरा संन्यास है तो खतरनाक, डर तो स्वाभाविक है, लेकिन शराब के जोश में तुमने अगर संन्यास ले लिया तो वह उचित ना होगा। वह तुमने अपनी सूझबूझ, अपने होश हवास में न लिया होगा, बेहोशी में लिया होगा। और शराब जब उतर जाएगी फिर क्या करोगे? यहां से जब घर जाओगे गांव के लोग मिलेंगे, पत्नी के दर्शन करोगे, बाल बच्चे पूछेंगे कि डैडी तुम्हें क्या हो गया, भले चंगे घर से गए थे। उन सबको देख के नशा तिरोहित हो जाए। नशे में लिया गया संन्यास नशे के तिरोहित होते ही गिर भी जाएगा, उसका कोई मूल्य नहीं। होश हवास में लो। फिर एक खतरा और भी है, नशे के साहस का कोई भी मूल्य नहीं। नशे के साहस में तुम कुछ ऐसा काम भी कर सकते हो जो करके तुम पीछे पछताओ, बहुत पछताओ। नशा तो मैं पिलाता हूं और ऐसा पिलाता हूं कि जन्म जन्म ना उतरे, मगर सन्यासी हो जाओ तभी पिलाता हूं, उसके पहले नहीं। सन्यासी होना मेरे मैं गधे का प्रवेश पत्र है। उसके पहले सुनो मेरी बात, समझो मेरी बात, होश हवास से। सजग होके, सोए सोए नहीं। संन्यास लेने तक तो तुम्हारा होश हवास में चाहता हूं पूरा कायम रहे कि तुम कुछ ऐसा काम न कर गुजरो जिसके लिए तुम्हें पछताना पड़े। एक शराब घर में एक बिल्ली थी। एक दिन वह एक चूहे के पीछे दौड़ी। चूहा भी भागा और भागते हुए एक शराब से भरे हुए बर्तन में जा गिरा। बिल्ली काफी देर इंतजार करती रही, तलाशती रही, मगर चूहा न मिला, न मिला। दूसरे दिन शराब घर के मालिक ने चूहे को बाहर निकाला। चूहा गरज कर बोला, कहां है वह हरामजादी बिल्ली? क्या समझ रखा है अपने को? लाओ मेरे सामने, कर दूं चारों खाने चित। नशे में कुछ उल्टा सीधा काम न कर बैठना। फिर नशे का भरोसा क्या? मैं तो पिला दूं। सन्यास ही निकले नशे से, ये कोई जरूरी नहीं। हिम्मत आ जाए तो पता नहीं हिम्मत का क्या परिणाम हो। हिम्मत आ जाए और तेजी से भाग खड़े हो। हिम्मत भागने की आ जाए, ये भी तो खतरा है, ये भी डर है। सज्जन आदमी को नशा करवा दो, गालियां बकने लगता है। कोई पूछा भी नहीं था कि गीता पाठी, एकदम गालियां बकने लगेगा। सोचा तो हमने ये था कि नशा करवा देंगे तो गीता का उद्घोष होगा, और ये बकने लगा मां बहन की गालियां। गालियां भीतर भरी थी, गीता तो ऊपर ऊपर थी। वो तो होश रहता तो चलती। होश में हो तब तक तुम्हें ख्याल भी आ रहा है संन्यास लेने का। बेहोश हो के क्या ख्याल आएगा पता नहीं। भीतर क्या क्या पड़ा हो, क्या ना पड़ा हो, जन्मों जन्मों का कचरा इकट्ठा है। इसलिए जब तक तुम सन्यासी ना हो जाओ तब तक मेरी शराब के तुम पात्र नहीं होते। हाँ, सन्यासी तुम हो जाओ, फिर मैं राजी हूं पिलाने को, फिर कोई मेरी तरफ से कमी नहीं होती। मगर जब तक तुम सन्यासी नहीं हो तब तक मैं तुम्हें बिल्कुल मुक्त छोड़ रखना चाहता हूं। सुनो, समझो, विचारो, विश्लेषण करो, तर्क की कसौटी पर कसो। जल्दी मत करो, धीरज से, आहिस्ता से, क्योंकि मैं जो कह रहा हूं वो खतरनाक तो है ही। वो सारी परंपराओं का विरोध है, उनका अतिक्रमण है। हाँ, तुम निर्णय कर लोगे अपनी तरफ से, अपनी बुद्धि से, समर्पण का, फिर ठीक है। उसके बाद तुम मेरे हाथ में हो, नहीं तो खतरा है। मुल्ला नसरुद्दीन के दांत में बहुत पीड़ा थी, लेकिन दांत निकलवाने में नसरुद्दीन को बड़ा डर लगता था। दांत के डॉक्टर ने उसे बहुत तरह से समझाया कि नसरुद्दीन, दर्द बिल्कुल नहीं होगा, बस 2 मिनट की बात है। लेकिन नसरुद्दीन बड़ा घबराया। आखिर नसरुद्दीन जब तैयार न हुआ तो डॉक्टर थोड़ी सी विस्की लेके आया और मुल्ला को देते हुए बोला, लो नसरुद्दीन, शायद इसे पीकर तुम्हें थोड़ी हिम्मत आए। विस्की पीने के 2-4 मिनट बाद तो नसरुद्दीन एकदम खड़ा हो गया और गरज कर बोला, अब आई साली हिम्मत, अब जरा कोई हाथ तो लगा कर देखे मेरे दांत। अरे हाथ पैर तोड़ दूंगा जिसने जरा सा छुआ मेरे दांत को। अब कैसी हिम्मत आ जाए तुम पीने के बाद कि तुम मुझसे कहने लगो, कब देखूं कौन देता मुझे सन्यास। या नशे में ऐसे भागो कि फिर कभी लौट के ना आओ। अभी कम से कम आ तो जाते हो, आते रहो, जाते रहो। देवराज मेहता आते रहे, जाते रहे, बात होने वाली, देर अबेर, मगर जब समय पक जाए तभी होनी चाहिए। कच्ची बात नहीं होनी चाहिए। कच्ची बात ठीक भी नहीं। कच्चा फल गिरे वृक्ष से तो सड़ जाएगा, किसी के काम ना आएगा। पक जाए तो ही सार्थक है। 2 शराबी एक झाड़ पर बैठे हुए थे। डट के पिए हुए थे। उसे जरा होश आया, उसने नीचे आंख के देखा और कहा भाई मुझे बड़ी पीड़ा हो रही कि तुम झाड़ से नीचे गिर गए, चोट वगैरह तो नहीं आई? उसने कहा तू फिक्र मत कर, अरे तू गिरता तो हमें दुख होता, तुझे दुख करने की क्या जरूरत? पहले ने पूछा तुम्हारा मतलब? उसने कहा कि अरे हम तो पक चुके हैं, तू कच्चा है। अरे मूर्ख, जो पक जाएगा वो गिरेगा ही, अभी तू कच्चा है, लटका रहे, जल्दी मत करना, जब पकेगा तब तू भी गिरेगा। देवराज मेहता थोड़े पक जाओ, अभी डंडा मार के गिराया जा सकता है तुम्हें, मगर कच्चे गिर गए क्या काम आओ, किसी उपयोग के नहीं होगे। आते रहो जाते रहो, जल्दी ना करो, मामला तो ये खतरनाक है ही, और शराब भी जरा जरूर पिलाऊंगा। ये शराब ऐसी है जो बेहोशी नहीं देती, होश देती, मगर इस शराब की पहली शर्त है वो तुम्हें पूरी करनी पड़े, वही संन्यास, वही शिष्यत्व है। जब तक तुम वह शर्त पूरी नहीं करते तब तक तुम पात्र ही नहीं हो कि मैं तुम्हारे पात्र को भरूं, तब तक तुम दर्शक हो, तब तक तुम इस तीर्थ के अंग नहीं हो। मगर भाव उठ रहा है तो लगता है धीरे धीरे पक रहे हो, गिरोगे, समय आ जाएगा, और जो समय पर बात होती वही ठीक, और हर चीज का अपना समय, जल्दबाजी कभी भी शुभ नहीं। आखिरी प्रश्न, भगवान, क्या धर्मगुरु सच ही बुद्धू होते हैं? दीपक, पता नहीं धर्मगुरु से तुम्हारा क्या प्रयोजन। अगर महावीर, बुद्ध, जरथुस्त्र, लाओत्सु को तुम धर्मगुरु समझते हो तो वे बुद्ध हैं, बुद्धू नहीं, लेकिन वे धर्मगुरु नहीं। आयतुल्लाह खोमेनी, पोप पाल, पुरी के शंकराचार्य, ये सब धर्मगुरु हैं, और ये धर्मगुरु निश्चित ही बुद्धू हैं। इसमें मैं जरा भी संकोच नहीं करता हूं, मैं सत्य को बिल्कुल नग्न ही कह देना पसंद करता हूं। ये अगर बुद्धू ना होते तो धर्मगुरु ना होते। आदि शंकराचार्य धर्म है, मगर ये नकलची, ये कोई शंकराचार्य है, ये कार्बन कापियां हैं, और इस जगत में इससे बड़ा कोई अपमान नहीं है आदमी का कि वो कार्बन कापी हो जाए। प्रत्येक व्यक्ति मौलिक, और मौलिक होने में ही उसका अपना गौरव है। अपने गौरव में ही परमात्मा का गौरव है। जो कार्बन कॉपी होकर रह जाता है वो 2 कौड़ी का हो जाता है। यहूदी फकीर जुस्सिया मृत्यु सैया पर पड़ा था, विद्रोही था, बगावती था। मैं जिन थोड़े से लोगों को प्रेम करता हूं उनमें से एक जुस्सिया भी है। वो कुर्सियां बड़ी बनवाता था लेकिन उसके पैर जमीन तक नहीं पहुंचते थे, तो टेबलें ऐसी बनवाता था कि किसी को पैर ना दिखाई पड़े, नहीं तो वो बड़ा भद्दा मालूम पड़ता था। उसके पैर कुर्सियों पर लटके मालूम होते, जैसे कोई छोटा बच्चा बैठा हो। वो अपने पांवों को छिपा के चलता था, वो पांवों से हमेशा पीड़ित होता था। उसने अपने पत्रों में अपने मित्रों को लिखा है कि मैं सिद्ध करके बता दूंगा कि पांव मेरे कितने ही छोटे हो लेकिन बड़े से बड़े पद पर मैं पहुंच सकता हूं। मेरे छोटे पैरों से मैं बड़े पद पर पहुंच के बता दूंगा। एडलर की बात में कुछ सच्चाई है। राजनेता कैसे बुरी गुजर, वो तो खुश हुए होंगे कि जो हम करना चाहते थे। सब दौड़ है ऊंचे होने की, सब दौड़ है ऊंचे होने की, मगर कोई पद से नहीं होता। आत्मवान व्यक्ति ही केवल ऊंचा होता है। ध्यान ही एकमात्र धन है और परमात्मा को अनुभव करना ही एकमात्र पद है। इसलिए तो भक्तों ने उसे परम पद कहा है। बाकी सब पद तुच्छ थे, बचकाने। तुमने छोटे बच्चों को देखा नहीं? छोटे बच्चे कुर्सियों पर चढ़ जाते और अपने पिता से कहते हैं कि डैडी मैं तुमसे ऊंचा हूं, देखो मैं तुमसे ऊंचा हूं। ये जो पदों की दौड़ में लगे हुए लोग, ये छोटे बच्चे जो शरीर से भला बड़े हो गए हैं लेकिन मनोवैज्ञानिक रूप में जिनकी उम्र ज्यादा नहीं, यह जान के तुम हैरान होगे कि आदमी की औसत मनोवैज्ञानिक आयु 12 साल है। 80 साल के आदमी की भी औसत उम्र 12 साल से ज्यादा नहीं होती। मन से मन तो वही 18 साल के करीब। फिर खिलौने बदलते रहते, फिर खिलौने बड़े होते चले जाते। लड़कियां गुड्डियों से खेलती हैं, गुड्डियों के विवाह रचाती हैं, फिर बड़े होके वो बच्चों के विवाह रचाएंगी, मगर खेल वही है। फिर रामलीला होगी, राम सीता का विवाह रचाया जाए, खेल वही है। नाम बदलते, रूप बदलते। ऐसा हुआ कि मैं पहली दफा रायपुर गया, मुझे कोई पहचाने नहीं, मैं किसी को पहचाने नहीं कि कौन मुझे बुलाया है। उसी दिन संयोग वसात उसी एयर कंडीशन डब्बे में बाबा राघवदास को भी आना था। बाथरूम जाते हुए मैंने देखा कि तख्ती बाबा राघवदास की लगी है। वे एक सर्वोदयी सन्यासी थे।
Hello?
महात्मा गांधी और विनोबा के बड़े भक्त थे। तो मैंने पूछा कि वे हैं यहाँ या नहीं। डब्बे में पता चला कि वे तो नहीं आए। बात आई गई हो गई। फिर रायपुर स्टेशन आया तो मुझे जो लेने वाले थे वो तो नहीं पहुंचे थे, लेकिन बाबा राघवदास को लेने वाले डब्बे के सामने ही फूल मालाएं लिए खड़े थे और मुझे बोले कि बाबा राघवदास की जय। मैंने भी सोचा कि भेद भी क्या है, नाम ही रूप का भेद है। चलो बाबा राघवदास सही। मैं कुछ बोला नहीं। उन्होंने फूल मालाएं पहना दी तो मैंने भी पहन ली। उन्होंने सामान उठा लिया तो मैंने कहा उठा लो। मुझे कोई और लेने आया भी नहीं था। तो मैंने कहा आखिर मुझे कहीं तो जाना ही पड़ेगा। फिर बाबा राघवदास आए भी नहीं है, इनका भी काम बनेगा, मेरी भी झंझट कटी। आखिर मैं कहाँ जाऊं? कौन मुझे लेने? लोग मुझे को दिखाई नहीं पड़ते जिनको मुझे लेने आना चाहिए। मैं पहचानता नहीं उनको। आए होते तो वो खुद ही दिखाई पड़ते। उनकी कार को रास्ते में ट्रैफिक में कुछ अड़चन पड़ गई। पहुंचने में 5 मिनट की देर हो गई। जब हम स्टेशन के बाहर निकल रहे थे तब वो भी आ गए फूल मालाएं लिए हुए। एक आध ने मेरी तस्वीर देखी थी। वो बड़ा चौंका कि कौन लोग इनको ले जा रहे हैं। वो मेरे पास आया, उसने कहा कि आप कौन हो? मैंने कहा मत पूछो। फिलहाल बाबा राघवदास जो मुझे ले जा रहे थे। उन्होंने कहा आपका मतलब फिलहाल? मैंने कहा सब नाम रूप है। आदमी जन्म जन्म में क्या क्या नहीं होता, अलग अलग जन्मों में अलग अलग हो जाता है। 84 करोड़ योनियों में क्या क्या नहीं होना पड़ता। इसलिए कह रहा हूं कि फिलहाल। उन्होंने कहा तब ठीक है। मगर जो मुझे लेने आए थे उन्होंने कहा हम ऐसे आपको नहीं जाने देंगे। ये क्या मामला है? अरे बाबा राघवदास तो हम जानते हैं। उनमें से एक बाबा राघवदास को जानता है। उसने कहा बाबा राघवदास नहीं। मैंने कहा इस संबंध तुम आपस में तय कर लो कि मैं कौन हूं, क्योंकि क्या फर्क पड़ता है। रही बात अगर तुम दोनों की अड़चन हो तो इनका काम आज निपटा देता हूं, कल तुम्हारा निपटा दूंगा। आज बाबा राघवदास रहने दो, कल तुम जो चाहोगे वो हो जाऊंगा। वो बाबा राघवदास वाले लोग भी चिंतित हो गए कि इस व्यक्ति को कैसे ले जाना। ये आदमी तो भरोसे योग्य भी नहीं। और कहीं बाबा राघवदास किसी और डब्बे में ना बैठे हो। उनको बड़ी चिंता ये पड़ी कि कहीं किसी और डब्बे में बाबा राघवदास बैठे हो और हम इन सज्जन को लिए जा रहे हैं जो कि बिल्कुल भरोसे के नहीं मालूम होते। और मेरे मित्रों ने तो जल्दी से उनसे सामान भी ले लिया और उनका आप चलिए ये रही गाड़ी। तो अपनी फूल माला ले जाओगे तो क्या मैं राज्य हूँ, दोनों को हल कर देंगे। आज तुम्हारा काम निपटा देते, कल इनका निपटा देते।
I'm mad. You angry. Leave me alone. You angry. I can't argue with you. I can't argue with you. You angry. I can't argue with you. Hello? 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 Hi, is this Frank?
It's Frank.
Can I be frank with you?
You can be frank with me.
Are you a retard faggot?
No.
Are you
I don't make a claim that there's no God. Try again.
Oh, what claim are you making? Oh, so you're like something that means nothing.
Big John, fuck off.
Oh! Didn't want to do it. Didn't want to do it. Couldn't do it. Somebody's a little chicken. We got an atheist chicken. We got an atheist chicken. Bye-bye, Frank.
You're not nearly as interesting or clever as you think you are.
Ooh, like you, Frank.
Your own voice.
Ooh, projection alert. Projection alert.
Not that interesting.
Uh-oh, somebody got a little triggered. Somebody got a little triggered. So watch this. We're going to put a link to the YouTube live stream in the chat. Somebody got a little triggered. Somebody got a little triggered. Somebody got a little trigger. He gave me the word. I can put the link in the chat. Somebody got a little trigger. 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 Somebody got a little trigger.
Lots of entrepreneurs open to every subject from what are you working on right now to how can we as a community help you and vice versa. How can you help the community?
Gotcha.
Somebody got a little trigger. Somebody got a little trigger.
What everybody thought about CRMs.
We got concrete. Talking about CRMs. CRMs.
That's what's on my mind.
Somebody got a little trigger.
Because I know, like everything.
Somebody got a little trigger.
Funnels off of the real estate. CRM.
Somebody got a little trigger.
Whole life.
Somebody got a little trigger.
But there's going to be a lot of people in the decentralized market looking to close.
Somebody got a little trigger.
But the real estate CRM.
Somebody got a little trigger.
Things that they need. So maybe if it's niche, I don't know if you want to go in mid-industry.
Somebody got a little trigger. Somebody got a little trigger.
So I'm an almost.
Somebody got a little trigger.
Because I don't have
answer is yes. Everybody in this space already has their own systems and CRMs. That's the question he is asking.
Like I said, I don't have any customers, so I'm
Somebody got a little trigger.
Yes, we owe you software.
Yes.
Somebody got a little trigger.
It's getting easier every day. So, you know, when it's a pitch, it's like what stands up, what stand out with your service, but then also I don't want you oversharing. You know what I'm saying?
Somebody got a little trigger. Somebody got a little trigger.
I'm just curious, what's the biggest complaints?
Whether it stays updated or interoperability, or maybe could you fire a task off from the dashboard?
Gotcha. And I imagine you guys are using like the premier CRMs like Salesforce. I know HubSpot's got one.
HubSpot, yeah.
Burner or one. So, gotcha. Those all have the same problem or interoperability. I guess you'd be like between.
Somebody got a little trigger.
Before, but now you just give it to your
Somebody got a little
operating system. The
trigger.
operating system's gonna handle it for you.
Somebody got a little trigger.
Earlier when I started launching this room, I was talking about launching your own cloud operating systems. This is how everyone's
self-hosted or self-hosted operating system.
Yes. Influx has its own self-hosted operating systems.
Oh, okay. So Influx.
We all do. Me as a software developer.
Concept is based on
Oh, we found a winner, bro. We found some winners.
you need to maintain
Some real winners.
that very basic
That.
is always going to lead
That.
to anti-oppression. You can't manage a population by numbers and not.
I think that's policy, though. That's not that design.
It is, because how can you create a Jewish nation and keep it a Jewish nation if you don't have a Jewish demography? And the term,
I think in the future
demographic
binational
threat.
state, it's still Jewish in character, no? Like, it's still.
We're not talking about Jewish character. We're talking
Let's talk about
institutionalized supremacy. That's very, very different. And any ethnocentric state, especially that of a closed society like Judaism, is bound to end up morally rotten. You can't manage a population according to the ethnical characteristics.
I mean, what Danny said, Danny left over and he was talking about Islamic Republic doesn't mean all the Muslim land is correct. Just because you're Islamic Republic does not mean that all the Muslims can live there, and that they never claim. But the thing that he missed.
I object to the concept of an Islamic Republic just as much as I object to the concept of a Jewish state.
I understand.
I believe church and state need to be separated.
Well, that's a fair point. But what I'm saying is that the whole concept of being a state only for
Jews.
Yeah,
That's the opposite of what they claim. This is how they whitewash it.
but the only thing is that the country used to be called Persia. There was a reason.
Exact a horseshoe theory. It's the same thing.
But that's a government system. You can disagree with that, but there's nothing that's only.
But the same goes for Zionism. A state that claims to be pluralistic and democratic cannot inherently uphold any group, whether it's based on religion or ethnicity, above all others. You simply can't. Once you do, not to mention the fact that not separating church from state is a bad thing to begin with, but especially if you're trying to incorporate religious beliefs into the state system, that's where you get an oppressive authoritarian regime. And it doesn't matter which religion it is. I believe in full separation of church and state for everybody.
Emrose, what do you think of this idea that Israel is, because it's constrained in Lebanon and Gaza and Iran, is now looking towards, I saw the Israeli government tweeted about Turkey being linked to Hamas. It seems like they're priming the population for a new front.
It's a smokescreen. They will never fight Turkey. Turkey is one of their biggest trade partners. It's a smokescreen.
Okay. Well, that's good.
What do you
But I think Syria is really and the West Bank are really bubbling up too, though.
I think that the world sold Palestine. That's what I think.
So let's take this to its logical end. What happens after they sell Palestine and divide it up and give it to the highest bidders?
They don't do that. By selling Palestine, I mean that they will look the other way while Israel continues to annex, expel, exterminate, genocide Palestinians.
I mean, I think they sold Israel too. I don't think Israel has leverage
I
on
wish
one
they
side.
did.
I don't know. It looks like I don't know if they're going to ever get their leverage and their...
What they're doing now is looking for a scapegoat. They're going to use a scapegoat at the form of Ben-Gvir, Smotrich, or it might even be Bibi. Because just like I predicted, we just saw a big chunk of liberal Zionists that were visiting no other than the Emirates. So they're going to say, there you go, we got rid of the crazy ones, now we have the normal Zionists back, we can talk to them. They sold Palestine. Until somebody shows otherwise, I will not stop saying it. Motherfuckers, the entire fucking world sold Palestine for the millionth fucking time. Ceasefire my ass. 1,000 Palestinians died, said this fucking peace board, and everybody's acting as if there's a ceasefire, as if there's not a front in Palestine. They talk about everything, and I'm not accusing Lebanese, not accusing Iranians or Syrians, but I'm saying let's not behave as if the world has suddenly saved Palestine from the occupation and Zionism. It has not.
What do you think of Standing Together Party?
It's not something that you can talk about in this setting. People won't understand the nuance. We barely can understand the nuances.
I mean, I think the room has kind of died down, so... I just wonder if you think there's spoilers for the left, which is already deflated, and we
I
can...
don't know. I don't have an opinion yet. I'm still debating. The room clears out because it's no longer a spectacle with a pinata to punch one side or the other. The room clears out when you start talking about truth. Nobody cares about truth or the actual reality.
So, I mean, earlier we were talking about, I was pointing a parallel. I'd be interested to hear your view on this.
Twisted bitch.
To me, in America, that we chase phantom enemies. And that's how we define reinforce our Judaism, because we don't have any other way to distinguish ourselves from our non-Jewish neighbors if we're not observant, right? In Israel, you're more Jewish because just by definition of your Israeliness, right? But Israel also is constantly seeking enemies and war and creating conflicts in sovereign states that never attacked it, right? And I think Israel has shown this pattern of when it's constrained in one of its fronts of going into a new area where there is no enemy and legitimate threat and creating it. You know what I mean? And I just saw, to me, that's like an interesting parallel of Jews in order for continuity and wanting to preserve some sense of unique identity, chasing ghosts and finding enemies where there might not be it. And I don't know if that's an apt parallel because of the existential.
I don't think so. I think it's you can say that politicians like Netanyahu opens fronts just to hold on to his political power because it's a diversion or whatever. But I don't think the fact that the existential fear is manufactured, yes, I agree. It doesn't have to be there, and that's the motivation behind most Zionists, not the religious one. It's more this manufactured.
The best example is the bomb that's always 2 weeks away, right? This is a phantom threat.
Yeah,
that was created by Netanyahu.
Yeah, but Netanyahu, half the country laughs at that threat as well.
But now they support the war. They believe it. So suddenly they've been conditioned to change their mind.
That's the absurdity. This is where Zionism comes into play. This is why we say it has nothing to do with yes Bibi, no Bibi, because they would flank him from the right, like we saw with Iran, just to go against him to be counted. That's why it doesn't matter. They're all the same. They're all Zionists. So we need to start talking in terms of Zionists and anti-Zionists, not left and right Zionists.
Did you ever watch The Gatekeepers, that documentary about the folks who were...
Years ago.
And they talked about how when the threat was over, they were looking for threats, and they were...
Yeah, but they were trying to pin it specifically on one side of the Israel society when they're just as complicit in it. That's my problem with it. It's not true, but it's across the board.
I understand. I'm sorry its existence.
Zionism needs anti-Semitism to justify its existence. This is why we say Zionism is anti-Semitism. Zionism doesn't exist without anti-Semitism.
Okay, so perfect. And so what does that? What's the natural conclusion that if it doesn't exist, we must find it, or you can't justify your existence, right? In America, we've enjoyed a level of prosperity and acceptance that we've never experienced before anywhere in the world in history for like 50 years. There's zero discrimination. There's zero like even institutional barriers, right? And we've decided to like expand the definition in order to create hatred, because without it, not only does Zionism not exist, but secular diaspora Judaism doesn't exist. And so we cling to haters and ghosts and like the mayor of New York City's wife's like on October 7th, because it's all we have to distinguish ourselves. And that's sort of the point I was trying to make.
Yeah, but this is part of the Zionist doctrine. The entire idea, and you can see this in the state of Israel, is Zionism is aimed at replacing Judaism. This is why the symbolism is so important. This is why the flag is intentionally designed to look like the Talmud, as you the flag. This is why the parliament is called the Knesset, because you create a situation where Judaism is the Zionist state. You annex the symbols, that becomes your religion. And along the way, you didn't actually learn what Judaism really is.
Yeah.
Did it fix the world?
I think we did. I think we solved it. That was actually really beautiful what you did with Daniel. You like asked him a trick question. You like laid a trap and he walked like right into it.
Yeah, it's easy with
I
them.
feel like you've done that before a few times.
Yeah, once you get the hang of it.
I mean, the whole thing is stupid, you know? Everyone, it's more convenient. You link the two, and it's not. You don't link the two, and we need to just hold complex truths and not be so binary about it.
Yeah, and people like him don't help.
No.
Okay, I'm going to clear the stage so we can get other people up.
Okay. See you around. Ellie, get up here. I want to talk to you.
Daniel is really brainwashed as fuck. Seriously, since he was baby, I think he was drinking milk and brainwashed at the same time. Like, he is obsessed with Qatar, Muslims. Like,
I don't think he's being honest. I think he's more on he's on a Hasbara campaign. He thinks he's saving his country.
I've actually seen a documentary of those people actually done the courses of Hasbara to come out and they talk about it. They talk Eggs and Tan and the whole thing.
Is it called Israelism, the name of the show?
Yes, that's
yeah,
the one.
we talked about it many times.
So it's very ironic. What do you think about? I was just looking at how the Americans view Israel in the past 3-4 years and compare them to, like, I'll just try to look at the demographic of Israel amongst the Americans. There was a Pew Research Center recently come out with this survey talking about over 60% of Americans.
40% think it's a genocide. That is a huge number when historically American Jews have overwhelmingly supported Israel.
Exactly. So I was looking at that to try to find out why they have actually shifted. And I realized that most of the people that asked this question, majority of the people have a negative view, are under the age of 45. And those people still have a positive view toward Israel regardless of what happened. And they're mainly boomers direction.
Because they remember a different Israel, by the way, Soren. They remember when Israel actually had existential threats and wasn't backed by a world power, right? They were once existentially threatened. Now they're not. And they don't realize that they're the giants. They think they're still the midget. They still think they're still David. They don't realize they're Goliath.
I think that what my understanding was that they probably see Israel through the lens of Holocaust. That what happened there was the horrific things happened in Europe. That's why
if you're a small content creator,
Israel for them. But now the generations after, the more past than that, they see Israel through the lens of Gaza.
Yeah, that's true.
And that's why the shift in saying, hang on a second, they're already a nuclear state that no one can block.
Yeah, it's David becoming Goliath and not realizing they're Goliath, basically. Ellie, what's going on with you? How you been?
Not bad.
Yes. Do you like the title of the room?
What is there to like? What to dislike?
I don't know, no thoughts, no riffing. No crying in the room.
Listen, I know your content. You're not surprising me yet.
Okay. We're talking about the phantom anti-Semitism and the sort of maladaptive nature of post-war Jews to even when we're flourishing, try to find haters and hate in obscure places.
Look, as soon as you will figure out the discrepancy between how Americans, for example, react and view Russia and Russians versus how they view and react to Israel and Israelis, when you figure that shit out, we will be able to have like a real discussion on the matter. Before that, like it's all, pushing air, boring.
That's actually a very interesting perspective, Ellie. I want to hear your perspective. This is not a.
We talked about it before.
He just told you. Are you not listening? You just don't like what you're hearing, huh? Little pushbacks, difficult.
I don't remember that we had this exact discussion, but I'm going to be open and leave the floor to bring up.
How the media you will see boomers who understand who Russians are versus a young population who kind of glorify Putin and whatever Russia and see them as like victims of American hegemony or something.
Yeah, fair enough. But I criticize Russia and I'm concerned with the maladaptive nature. But I think if you're looking at the poll at least of just American Jews, the vast majority also feel some attachment to Ukraine and Russia and Eastern European, all of our history there, right? I think most American Jews who criticize Israel are the same people who criticize Russia, two traditions of the media between Russia and Israel.
Both media.
I would listen. I concede on that. I don't.
Another 2 for 2.
What do you mean?
So I personally, as much as I love Ukraine and have roots in the Eastern European region, I'm more emotionally invested in the story of Israel-Palestine, right?
But again, you're a Jew, okay, so you can claim that you have some whatever. I'm talking about the fucking average American that you said like, Pew Research shows that their relationship
wait, their relation to Israel changed. Let's say, okay, I'm saying, okay, how do you explain the fact that Russia had like several cities in Ukraine turned into much worse conditions than, for example, Gaza? Okay, they killed God knows about how many people. They killed fucking God knows how many of the whole population at this point. And those same people do not give a fuck. This
So the criticism of the media's airtime and the ink that's spilled on Israel versus Russia and other conflicts. I mean, South Sudan is also a way more horrific shit situation that nobody's talking about as much.
Again, you can excuse the South Sudan by it being like in a place where nobody cares. Okay, you can say that you can compare Israel and Ukraine and have both
world powers.
World powers.
Fine, okay. I'll hand you that.
She's gonna hand you that. She's gonna hand you that.
Like the criticisms, right? It has no problem.
We are not talking about the criticisms.
So
you know that I'm on the side of Israel and I'm on the side of Ukraine, okay? So the criticism, you can have whatever criticism that you want. That's not the point.
No, you're talking about shifting public opinion, and you're saying it's
I'm surveying this whole situation. Are complete hypocrites and amateurs, basically. No, not amateurs. I don't know how you call it.
Most people don't know that much about it, and they just go on headlines.
The projection alert detection system has been activated.
What is your point? Say it in one sentence, please, because you're kind of muddling.
My point there is
Another 2 for 2.
We've had this conversation before, and I'm not discounting the fact that Israel.
I told you that we had this population, and you never come up with with an explanation that satisfies either it's logically consistent or whatever.
Another 2 for 2.
Life is not logically consistent, Ellie. Okay, like people have taken interest in ones for different reasons.
I'm telling you that Jews Israelis claim this is anti-Semitism. If you do not subscribe to that.
Do you see that as anti-Semitism?
No. I told you many times what I think it is.
What is it?
Political.
It's you fucking socialists. To blame.
The socialists, you said?
Yeah.
Okay, I thought it was the media. I thought you put your media.
It's in some socialist alliance. They're being more precise.
Do you think I'm a fascist socialist?
No, you are the socialist. Okay, some fascists are your friends.
Why do you think I'm a socialist? I actually am pretty moderate. I'm social democracy with the social system and capitalism. There's been a bunch of like think pieces and articles about this.
I'm really curious. So, can you explain this Islamo-fascism to me?
No, I don't think so.
Why?
she
Are we trying to be
But I'm your fellow Jew. Educate me.
I am your fellow Jew. Educate me
But
about
is Israel
Islamofascism. What is it? Give me the definition. I refuse to use Google. Try to get a definition. I want to be political with you. I am a communist, socialist, fascist.
אוקיי, בגדול, זה צריך יש לזה הרבה רקע, אוקיי? אבל תחשבי, אוקיי, את יודעת איך האוקראינים קוראים לרוסים?
תמשיך.
הם קוראים להם פשיסטים, אוקיי? פשיזם רוסי.
Another 2 for 2. He's bald, bitch!
I know all about Islamofascism. I know all about the green belt. I'm just really curious to hear because I was surprised when you say I don't label it anti-Semitism. That was curious, but that's my bad because I should have expected you to attack it from the Islamophobic angle. So that's your argument, Islamophobia.
Wait, what is Islamophobia?
How do you explain the charity? Yeah.
Islamofascism basically means the kind of Islamic way to do fascism in the whole Islamic world. It's how they treat their own people, it's how they treat other ethnic minorities, other ethnicities, and so on and so on. And it's a pattern of thought.
You know what? I will agree.
And that applies to all.
I want to agree with him. He's right. He's correct. That Islam countries, they expel Muslims and they treat them shit like what they did to the Jews like 80 years ago. He's right about that. But unfortunately, he's also part of the brainwash. I think you believe in Taqiyya, right? You're the one who believes in Taqiyya,
No,
right?
I do not believe. No, I do not believe it.
No, he's not that kind of Zionist, sorry. He is
Okay.
Does Islamofascism, Ellie, in your mind, does it apply to all Muslims? Is it like inherent to Islam?
It's like Russianism does not apply to all Russians. It's just how their society in general operates.
You don't see a problem with that statement at all?
What do you mean? Do you think that Islamic countries are not in their nature fascistic?
I think that any country that doesn't separate church and state is fascistic in its nature, including Israel. But I don't think the root is Islam or Judaism. I think it's not separating church and state and institutionalizing religion.
You mix all those things. First of all, you can have a gradation of fascism. Let's start with that, okay? So you don't have to lump like.
I agree with you. The same way you have different manifestations of level of apartheid, for example. Yeah, fascism can manifest sometimes more severely, sometimes less.
Let's say I would agree, for example, that Israeli society under the unfortunate rule of Benjamin Netanyahu became more fascistic. I agree with that. Where I would put Israeli society on the fascism.
What you mean is that it's the first time that the fascist oppressive tendencies have turned inwards, but in fact those same tendencies and practices have been the root of this country since its birth, only not against Jews. It's the first time it's been, why not? This is exactly the problem.
Because again, this shifts the conversation.
You said that there's societies. Didn't you say that's how their societies?
I said that Islamic countries manifest themselves today.
What do they have in common?
Day and that.
Islamic
Day
countries.
and that. That they are the fascists. The design is Jewish fascism versus that Islamofascism. They don't know what that they're doing.
Are labeled fascistic?
Hello?
First of all, you have Islamic countries who are much less on the fascistic gradation.
When I asked you, does it apply to all Muslims, you said, well, that's what their society
That's what they say. They don't know
I
that.
asked you, does that apply to all Muslims? You said, well, that's what all their society
That's what they say.
Point to the least fascistic Islamic country.
Turkey. Or no,
Turkey is considered a secular state.
Hey, listen, if you point to Turkey as the least fascistic...
Did you hear me? Did you hear me justify the existence of Islamic countries? I believe all countries need to be separated. I think church and state is a bad thing across the board. I think that any authoritarian, I think that any autocratic regime is going to end up any way other than fascist.
We have been talking about the cause, okay, the cause
Of course.
the cause of the changing.
My cause is liberating Palestine. What cause are you
we're
talking
having
about?
two different conversations here.
I have an conversation with Buttercup. Like you try to pull the conversation to something that it's you.
Are you not interested in having a conversation with a fellow Israeli?
What?
Listen.
No.
I'm their country.
No.
Congratulations.
No, but Ellie, I wanted you to meet her too because she's very interesting and you're very interesting. She's an look at her, an out-of-the-box Zionist, and I think you guys would have an interesting dialogue about it.
This is boring for me. Again, like
How does it bore you?
Because I heard this a million times. Okay.
Yeah,
You heard what? The what? What shtick? What is my shtick?
About all Muslims, separation of church and state. First of all, and by the way, your tendency to kind of subscribing to things that I haven't said and do not believe in. Like, come on.
Yeah, that's not just all the time. Ellie is
boring, not interesting. And the fact that Baraka has to defend.
What is my shtick, Ellie?
You have been subscribing me, okay, to whatever notions that you
like the
have.
classic Zionist narrative talking point.
No, I literally repeated your own words. When I asked you, does it apply to all Muslims? Your response was, well, that's what happens in their societies, right? I specifically asked you. You could have said.
Their countries, and I don't think that they manifest fascism.
So again, you did not make the distinction in saying, well, some Islamic societies can become fascist. Exactly. So you're inherently relating Islam and fascism to be one and the same.
No, I told you.
How no? If you just said all
Give
of
him a
them.
chance to clarify at least. Give him a chance to clarify.
Comprehension of like a third grader is obnoxious.
Billy, you said all of the societies.
Roast, 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 roast.
For example, so apparently not only Muslims can be fascist, but apparently all the Islamic countries are very fascist.
Not all fascists are Muslim, but all Muslims are fascist. Is that the Venn diagram we're going with now?
And again, this is subscribe to something I haven't said. Again, obnoxious listening comprehension of a third grader.
And Mohammed is the best indication that you're losing the debate, honey.
All Muslim countries.
He's losing the debate, honey.
Countries are fascist. And when I ask you which is the least fascist country,
Okay, let me ask you this.
Fucking Turkey.
Let me say this. All Muslim countries. Wait. You're saying all Muslim countries. Wait. You're saying all Muslim countries. Ellie, all Muslim countries are fascist. What do those... Ellie, אם אתה אומר שכל המדינות האסלאמיות, אם אתה אומר שכל המדינות האסלאמיות הן פשיסטיות, משמע יש גורם מקשר בין כולם. What is, oh no, then explain it to me. This is the way I understand it. When you say all Muslim countries, when you say all Muslim, then you can happily educate me. When you say all Muslim countries are fascist, then I'm asking you, if it's not Islam that you're indicating as the common denominator, then what is the common denominator making all of them fascist? Because you chose to describe them as Muslim countries, so I have to assume you're blaming Islam.
Well, don't assume. Ask him.
No,
I just did.
If anything, for example, I blame probably Arab culture more than Islam. Because the Asian, for example,
that's so much better.
Are less fascistic.
This bitch is never gonna be happy, ever.
Listen, by the way, yeah.
You mean like Ben-Gvir.
Yeah.
But again, you and Hitler, very Arab.
So it's not Islamofascism. It's not Islamofascism. You might even, although I disagree with you, say that there is a power culture. There's a power culture in Middle Eastern societies. So first of all, we got the Islamophobic thing. So let's no longer use the term Islamofascism because that creates and promotes hate speech and Islamophobia. Huh? Oh, you don't give a fuck. You don't think that avoiding hate speech that labels an entire religion as fascist is a problem.
I'm the probably only Israeli guy on this side of the argument who does not believe in the wholesale of the anti-Semitism argument.
Neither do I. But you have no problem. But you have no problem with. So generally speaking, you're okay with anti-Jewish rhetoric and anti-Muslim rhetoric. You think it's fine. It's not something none of us should object.
Okay.
If somebody says that all Jews drink Christian baby blood on Passover, nobody should say anything. We just let it go.
Say shit that are obviously not true.
So like Islamofascism.
What's the problem?
I don't think
We just established that when you say Islamofascism, you create a correlation between No, but even you corrected yourself and said it's more of an Arab thing.
You're attributing a lot of things.
See how you trip over your own words? Buttercup, see how it's done? It's really easy.
No. I think
Great work, Ambrose. Wow. Great work.
Islamofascism is something that
She said Daniel's in the other room crying, and she made Daniel cry.
It's not okay to use it because
you attributed a bunch of beliefs to him based on a word he used, and maybe he misused it or misinterpreted it different way.
So he just corrected himself, but then
But then, that and day.
He's allowed to clarify what he means.
But then,
again, he clarified.
again.
Maybe it's more of an Arab thing, but then when I said,
hello?
I said that if you ask me which is, you wanted me to find a correlation. Okay?
You said all Muslim
I think we've actually found the most annoying person in the world.
All Muslim countries are fascistic. We agreed on that. Okay?
No, we didn't agree on that.
That.
Fascistic country is fucking Turkey,
We didn't agree on that. I just didn't engage in it because that's not the conversation I'm
Do you want to engage in it?
I want to know what is the common denominator between all those countries. I want to know what is the common denominator making you group them together.
Which is the less fascistic country than Turkey?
What is the common denominator?
Allie, one second.
This conversation when
Guys,
here a less fascistic country than Turkey.
Okay, listen, let me say something. I think that there are, as you know, because you're both really smart people, that there are many geopolitical reasons why.
I don't know about Ambrose here.
Right? And to attribute to one cause is overly simplistic. We're not gonna right now solve why specific countries are or are not fascistic. I don't think it's constructive. Okay? At least that's doesn't know why.
But I think
I
it's
think we
very
don't have to solve it. You can't, and you certainly can't attribute it to one factor. We're not thinking about
that's what he does when he says Islamofascism.
That's what he does.
And that's why he clarified. He walked it back.
I didn't know that.
There you go. He did
So,
walk it back.
Ellie is like a libertarian who wants to use whatever words
when he says Islamophobia, it's no different than saying any other blood libel about Judaism. And allowing it and letting it go unchallenged, the same thing as letting blood libel against Jews go unchallenged. I'm sorry, but it's not a word that is acceptable to be used. You're labeling 1.8 billion people as inherent fascists.
Listen, earlier today we were hung up on the fact that Mamadani used the word monsters to describe AIPAC, okay? When we get stuck in one word...
Monsters doesn't use Jews, Muslim, Christians, and Buddhists in it. But he uses Islamofascism as an acceptable term. And it says that every Muslim country is inherently fascist. Just look at their societies. Do you understand what that type of rhetoric leads to?
I think we're missing the core idea here. We're missing the forest despite the trees.
We're whitewashing, and this is exactly how.
Do you have this expression in Hebrew, missing the forest despite the trees? It's like you're missing the big picture here.
And no, I don't agree with you. I think it's exactly the kind of small things that we let slide that end up being the root of all the decay and all the rot that is so obviously prevalent in the society, because we ignore shit like that. We allow them to label Aravitov Zarabinet. We allow them to say that shit. We get away with it. We say it's just a song. No, that's how it starts. That's how you dehumanize and demonize an entire culture and society.
Are you finished?
Anybody wants to object to that?
He goes off on the.
Do not talk about it! Don't be specific.
Ellie is sensitive to fascism from growing up in the former Soviet Union, right, Ellie? Like, I feel like his perspective is a little different than coming from this sort of classic Zionist narrative about demonizing the Arab world. Ellie, do you want to jump in?
Listen, I'm tired of arguing with stupid people, so I don't know. When shit will come down.
Stupid people? Honey, you're the only one having a tantrum. How am I stupid? Do you want to debate other things with me? Come on. I dare you. Pick a topic.
You dare me.
I dare you. Pick a topic. Pick a topic, honey.
If you dare me, like
I dare you. Pick a topic. You want to talk about the green belt? Do you? Do you want to talk about what the Bundist? Do you want to talk about the genocide? Do you want to talk about the starvation policy? Do you want to talk about annexing the West Bank? Do you want to talk about what they do in Silwan?
Okay, so
do you want to talk about what they did in Taipei or Tel Aviv? Do you? No. There's a reason you don't want to talk about it.
He wants to talk about the disparity in the
I'm sorry, don't you live in Israel? Are you not aware that there is a genocide happening in your name?
Okay. That's what you think?
No, that's not what I think. It's what the scholars and experts think, not me.
Oh, scholars. Okay.
Yes. You don't want to talk about it. Why?
We've debated it many times.
I do not want to talk about it with you because you're stupid, and I don't see the point talking with stupid people.
Okay, no ad hominem.
Having to explain this for like the 10th time.
Again, when you go to an ad hominem, you're showing to the room that you lost your argument. Stop it. You're embarrassing yourself.
Expressing my preference to who I want to speak and to who I don't want to speak.
Your argument for not wanting to speak with me is you're stupid. Like a 4-year-old.
Argument. I'm just giving you my reason.
Saying you're stupid is the reason of a 4-year-old. You kind of need a better reason than that.
Anyway, I think the point Ellie was trying to make is he gets confused. He's been long confused about why people who have negative views of Israel are not associated with Iraq.
You're not being confused because you don't have your own.
My own what?
Theory.
Theory about why people are more fixated on Israel. I do have a theory. You want to hear it?
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. So historically, if you follow Jewish history, Jews have always been news. And since the founding of Israel, the story of Israel is a very riveting story, which is why listen, I work in the media and I know what makes an interesting story. And the Jews are an interesting story, objectively, right? These people who were chased out of, persecuted and murdered and chased out of every country, and then by some miracle created a state and have been by some miracle survived all these attacks from people, from their neighbors, right? And because we spent billions of dollars as an extra on their weapons in the last couple of years, as an extra layer of their relevance to the lives of people in the West, okay?
So it kind of sounds like what you're describing.
Actually, to be fair, we give billions also to Ukraine, right? So it should be similar.
Yeah, no, but what you're saying.
But in the case of Ukraine, we're giving it to the victims. In the case of this, we're giving it to the perpetrators. You understand the difference?
But what you're describing is basically what Jews call anti-Semitism, but without calling it anti-Semitism yourself.
Being fixated on Jews? Finding it interesting? We are interested.
Hold on, but just Ellie, Buttercup, I have a suggestion. I'm sending you a screenshot. I think this might be an interesting topic, especially because I'm hosting the people from there on the space Saturday, but it's a completely new paradigm that's being suggested, a demilitarized binational confederacy. It's a one-page. It can easily be read in like a few minutes if you want to read it to the room. I think that
A binational demilitarized confederacy.
Israelis, and I think it might be an interesting new kind of conversation.
Yeah, I don't have any more questions. Palestinians are gone. Oh, actually, somebody is here. Yeah, okay. You know, it's like such a small. We're kind of like closing soon, so I don't know if I'm going to start a new big topic. This kind of was going to like wrap up this thing.
Next week we'll disrupt the conversation and pull it again to her pet peeve.
I just think it's a bit more interesting than the things that we talked about again.
So Monica, maybe you can finish.
This is just an ongoing conversation I've had with Ellie for a long, long time, and I'm surprised that he still hasn't heard my view on it. I think we talked about what makes something an interesting news story, right? Ellie, do you recall discussing what makes something news
For
story?
those of you interested, I put the link to that page in the chat.
Thank you. Cool. We'll check it out. Yeah, I'm always interested in out of the box.
So
people talk about
something to offer that is like not anti-Semitism, because
I mean, this is not quite a blueprint. It's just a bunch of bullets.
It's actually there's a 17-page document, but actually, Ellie, it was written by a Palestinian and an Israeli. I'm sure you heard about Meron Rapaport and multiple other Israelis that were involved.
Okay, I don't want to get derailed because I just want to finish this conversation with Ellie, and then we can talk about a hypothetical binational state and what it might look like. Okay. Ellie, are you satisfied? Do you understand why I think?
No. What I'm saying is what you're offering is the good old anti-Semitism claim.
No, I'm explaining what makes something newsworthy. What makes something interesting.
Yeah, but this is why anti-Semitism was anti-Semitism.
At the end of the day, a good plot is what drives Dostoevsky novel, right? It's not.
Wait, but why the pogroms? During the pogrom era, why Jews being kicked out of whatever Arab countries? Like, why not other minorities?
Because they were looking for their villains.
Okay, and what is different from what Buttercup is offering now? Like, why?
We're talking about the
They weren't as good at finding villains back then.
No. First of all, we live in a different media ecosystem, right? And the story of Israel is a new story, right? It's a new.
Yeah.
It's a modern story of the last century, okay? And we have been linked to it in the West financially, militarily, and countless other ways, because we also are host to the other large Jewish population. And so as a result, we have we're riveted. We have a more fascination with what happens there.
Wait. Do you think that there is such a thing as anti-Semitism as a unique phenomenon?
So a unique phenomenon, it is unique, yes. But all types of hatred are unique in their own way.
Let's roll back.
Anti-black racism is also unique.
Yeah, of course it is. I'm not saying it's unique in the sense that there is no other thing that is unique.
But you think it's eternal. You can never get rid of it. It'll always be there. It's like a living force.
Let's say
You see the mystical force in the universe.
I don't know.
Like magnetism?
You'll have to explain.
You're like the cold heart. You're like the. I'm surprised to hear this from you, Ellie. He really believes in some sort of like mystical, anti-Semitic, evil force in the world that'll never die.
Like a demon?
Wait.
Yeah.
Do you think
If you think it's eternal, you think it's living, Ellie.
I believe that?
Not everything eternal is living.
You think it's eternal, right, Ellie?
Squares are eternal.
No. Listen, I'm just trying to figure out what you believe in. I don't believe in anti-Semitism.
I think there were social contexts for anti-Semitism. One was the protocols of the Elders of Zion. Another was the way Jews, the way our religions evolved, right? And Christianity evolved and separated us. And then there was the Enlightenment movement. And the Enlightenment movement, ironically, made us even more, led to the Holocaust, right? And so when Christian anti-Semitism died, then it came up and the secular anti-Semitism reared its head, and so it took many forms.
Sounds like you're agreeing with him that it's eternal.
No, it's taken many forms. That doesn't mean it's eternal.
Slow down. As I understand it,
That doesn't mean it's always around the corner.
I didn't hear Ellie specifically say that it was eternal. I
think he was commenting.
All right, now what do you think, Ellie? Go.
You said it was some kind of like long argument you've been having. I heard you say it's definitely not eternal. Then I heard you explain how it's been around
We don't
for
need to
as
recap.
long
Thank you.
as humanity
Making
has
this
been
worse,
aware
Calm down.
of the Jews. So
not subscribe to the whole anti-Semitism argument at all. This is not my topic.
What is the whole anti-Semitism argument?
Why do you ask?
What? Yeah, so people who
I just
use
understand,
it.
Buttercup. Like, it sounds like you're saying it's eternal.
Stop talking.
I wasn't asking Eli. I was asking you.
Okay, so when I ask Baraka about why people are fixating on Israel, okay, I'm assuming that she does believe.
Why not?
1 second. That she does believe in the concept of anti-Semitism, not because I believe, because I think she does. Okay, and my question to her when she dismisses, like she said, like, oh, today it's not anti-Semitism. Okay, I'm asking, okay, what is it? Okay, and what she describes to me sounds awfully what
A morbid
Jews believe anti-Semitism is.
fascination with this story and a country that we are enmeshed with financially and politically.
You're not realizing that what you're describing is how Jews describe what anti-Semitism is. Is it? My kids can.
No,
Interest is not, it's not equivalent. Interest is
I
not.
think you silenced her.
What is not equivalent? I'm saying
Interest
what
is not the same thing as
describes
hatred.
sounds like how.
Being interested in someone is hatred? What are you talking about? I'm interested in you, Ellie. I don't hate you.
No, he's not wrong. A lot of the interest is due to anti-Semitism, but
It's more about
that's
obsession than like interest in it.
No, but it's by design, and the people who are attracting it is the Zionists. That they need those anti-Semites to pop up, because otherwise, how are they going to justify their existence?
So, based upon that, if there were no Zionists, there would be no anti-Semites?
No, there will always be anti-Semites. Zionism was created because of
We're not talking about.
But same rhetoric.
But there hasn't been Zionism in reaction to every strain of anti-Semitism.
The good Jews been thinking that they're the bad Jews who attract anti-Semitism to the good Jews.
I don't label good Jew, bad Jew. I label people according to the Judaism.
This is not the point. I'm not talking to you. I'm just addressing what she said.
אני מה קרה? מה עשיתי לך?
את מתקממת ואת לא חושבת כמו שצריך, ואת לא קונסיסטנטית, את מכנסה מילים לפה.
אני הכי קונסיסטנטית, פשוט ככה חלקתי מודה. Honey, I know I'm difficult.
Honey.
I'm not fun to talk with because I have truth and facts and you just have to
No, it's because you're a highly annoying person and an extremely annoying person, honey. And your facts are all propaganda and lies.
I'm here to shame you. I'm here to shame you. I'm not here to make you feel good. I didn't say save you, I said shame you.
שיימי, כפרה, גם זה עשו לי, תאמיני, שום דבר חדש.
מתבייש.
מאיימת על זונה עם זין, בקיצור,
Did you just admit it to being a whore?
מה?
Nothing.
אבל אתה נשמע, באמת.
כן, מאיימת, איך מאיימת על זונה עם זין תופס פה המשפט הזה? נו באמת, אלי.
אין לי כוח עליך. כמה פעמים צריך להגיד לך?
I know.
תודה.
I ruined your fun.
All right, moving on.
I think we got an understanding.
Oh yeah, we really got some.
Yeah. Anyway, so talk about.
Why are you so repelled by Emeralds? I'm curious. What is it about her that's so repellent?
The smell.
Do you know any sort of the anti-Zionist,
I don't care. This is boring. This is a boring conversation. It's a boring topic for me. It's not what I'm interested in.
Yeah. Okay.
Then what are you interested in?
I was to talk about what I'm interested in, and you're interfering.
I tried to be part of the conversation and you yelled at me.
No, you're trying to.
They're coming out with another Toy Story sequel.
Yeah, you're trying to.
Oh, wow.
What you're interested in, and I can sense it, and I know what you're doing, and
No, it's not.
No, I actually.
All right,
you said
well,
you
don't be
don't
so
want to talk
antsy about it. Let the
what
conversation
I
flow.
wanted to
Wait
talk
for your
about,
angle, and then jump in.
and I
take whatever
dropped
you
it.
want.
I
Just like she
didn't
did.
push my topic, right?
Anyway,
You're so whiny.
I'm getting back to the fact
Jews
that
are whiny.
sounds awfully like what Jews historically describe it as
Not
anti-Semitic.
all of them.
So I don't understand how you link. Listen, people in the pro-Pally movement it's not what I'm talking about. You're talking about the media and the media's decision and the way they're covering Israel in contrast to other conflicts, especially one that's very similar, which is Ukraine and Russia, where we do have a stake in it, right?
Listen, the media just does what brings money mostly, be it.
So I work in the media, and as I've explained to you many times, Ellie, but I think it's going one ear and out the other. I don't care.
This is not the point.
Ellie, you know there's a church and state. There's a church and state between the money side and the reporting side. We don't make decisions on what to report based on money. We make a decision based on people's interests and what's a good story, right?
Yeah,
And I believe that in Santa Claus. So
you think it's some vast conspiracy?
Facebook is taken over by ads that are disguised to look like articles.
Market capitalism, and media companies are companies who participate in market capitalism, and stories are written based on what interests people, and if you don't subscribe to that, you have a bridge to sell it.
What interests people ultimately makes money because people want to read an interesting news. So why do people's interests hate to interpret people? Okay.
Hey, people are talking about it.
My next point is, with that said, journalists do have a political leaning and a political bent, and the media companies have a political bent. But it does impact. But at the end of the day, the population, what can be sold to them, what interests them, what grabs their attention. So the question to me is, how come the stories about Ukraine do not grab people's attention? The stories about Gaza and Israel does grab people's attention. It's a very simplified version of my argument. And how do you explain it? The way that you so far describe it sounds a lot like what Jews call anti-Semitism.
Jews don't say a morbid fascination is anti-Semitism.
No, they do. Ask any Jew.
Morbid fascination is
They actually do.
What is that supposed to
I'm
mean?
morbidly fascinated by Israel. I'm morbidly fascinated.
What he's trying, both it's a two-edged sword. The Jewish exceptionalism
Yes,
is
it's hard to
responsible for
beat.
both supremacy and both anti-Semitism. That's the problem with it.
I understand. I'm not supporting exceptionalism that Jews are
I think
special.
that's the argument Ellie's bringing.
I understand that. But I just want to say.
I'm bringing it.
Also,
No,
Ellie, but also objectively, Israel is interesting for reasons beyond just people's cheap morbid fascination.
No, you're saying objectively covering Israel is good journalism?
Listen, the people are drawn. That's why we do write about quite a bit about Ukraine and Russia, but not enough for your preference. I understand that, Ellie. You think it's just there's nothing wrong with it.
Can I take the stab at this? I think Ellie's trying to say that this whole
grab a knife.
no Jews, no news is what Buttercup is.
Feels a little anti-Semitic,
Hold
doesn't it?
I'm
on.
not advocating for it. I'm just saying it's a fact.
I get it, and Ellie's acknowledging that that's the argument you're bringing. But I think if I'm trying
It's not an argument. It's just a fact of life. It's been that way for centuries.
So you're claiming that one of the reasons that people are super interested in covering the whole Palestine-Gaza genocide is because of the Jewish aspect. Now, what Ellie's saying is this is the Zionist argument when it comes to this. But he, I think, is claiming, and on this I will agree with him, that it actually roots in many other reasons, like Islamophobia, like anti-immigration, like white versus brown, West versus the global South, not necessarily the Jews versus the Muslims.
That's exactly the point I was making, Emrose. I said
Okay, so I think
objectively,
this
the
is what
story.
Ali didn't. I know this is what you think. This is why I kind of went on a Otef road, because I think he doesn't understand that that's what you're trying to say. I think
The story of Israel is objectively an interesting story for one, geopolitical reasons, two, our domestic policy policy and politics reasons. 3, just the story of the Jews is genuinely a moving story of twists and turns and drama and peaks and falls. And
but it's not because of that. Because Israel is considered to be look at it as a gladiator battle. Israel is the West, the white, and Palestine is the brown, the immigrant, the Muslim, the non-Judeo-Christian. It becomes a representation. So everybody,
yes, people project their politics onto it.
yes, but
You're
it's
really
not.
describing a fight
But it's
post
not.
marketing.
But it's not the
It's a marketing
it's
fight.
not necessarily the Jewish angle. It's the fact that Israel is considered to be the white Western representative in this.
All you're describing is marketing. That's not
What's his name? Amir projects his Al-Aqsa fantasies onto it, right? Everyone
What does
projects
he
their
know
own
about Alexa?
Amir
No,
from the
that-
other room?
Yeah, did he work at Alexa?
That's
he just
supposed
explained it
to.
as
So
well.
why does he give a shit
This is
about
why.
Alexa?
This is why we say that when people here shove the holy war narrative, they're doing the Zionist job for them. Zionists really want this to be a holy war, but the fact is that
They do?
it's not. Yes, they do. This is how we hate anti-Semitism. But the
Which
fact
Zionists?
oh my God, McZarty, can you please?
That's not to be a holy war.
And so
That's just marketing.
He's
Can you
interested
let-
in why we care more
Can you
about
let
Israel
Ellie
than
speak?
I hate when you try to say what I'm trying to say. You are so fucking atrociously awful.
Alright, just explain yourself, Ali. Go. The mic is yours.
What?
The mic is yours. Go clarify.
I'm saying the Islamo-fascist alliance with the Marxists, with the socialists. And again, I'm talking about the general.
Okay, so he's saying it's capitalism versus social communism
Why don't you
representation.
finish your point so we can get move forward?
My love for you, it tears in my heart.
Alright, I think we killed it. We beat a dead horse.
It tears in my heart, my love for you.
Islamo-fascism.
I love you so much
It's picking you on purpose.
that it tears in my
And we
heart.
should not allow it because it promotes hate.
Okay.
I love you so much.
Okay, we don't want to
It tears in my heart.
It's like the Islamo-fascists and
Disavow.
Disavow. They that and them.
There were some Marxists.
Said the citizen of the Zion Nazi state.
Ooh.
How the Islamo-fascists and Marxists overthrew the
Said the Zion Nazi.
And
We heard you. We heard you.
Every
That's
time
right,
he says
the
it, I'm going to say it in
revisionist
response.
Zionist perspective of the Islamo-fascist coup
Zion
together with
Nazi
the
says what?
Russo-Marxists.
Alright, it's just evolved into name calling.
Yeah, literally to get through a sentence. That wasn't. I got to know
Yeah,
prepositions.
because
I just all the subject
you
of the
refuse to
sentence.
stop using hate speech.
Islamo-fascist, either that's hate speech.
Zion
that's
Nazi
bullshit.
says what?
Anyway, Ellie, how's the baby? How's the kiddo? Are they talking yet?
Mhm.
Nice.
No, what did you ask?
I said, how's the kiddo? Are they talking yet? Are they?
Yeah, so-
Hebrew or Russian? What language are you talking?
Mostly here.
Mostly Hebrew. Are you trying to do trilingual thing situation?
Yeah, but there's like all the media in English and all the grandmas in Russian.
Yeah. Okay, that works. That's a good system.
Yeah, let's see.
It's good when you put it in like different settings, you know, because they can compartmentalize, you know.
Exactly. No, he's doing great. He's very smart.
Of course it is.
And he's very fun to be with.
So you speak Russian?
Hello.
Здравствуйте.
Здравствуйте.
Я хотел предлагать...
Can we talk about what I sent you, Buttercup?
Это украинский акцент, да?
Yeah.
Нет, это мужчинский голос.
Что? Не понял.
Это мужчинский голос.
Мужчинский голос?
Да.
I'd like to see more on this. Can you have like a document you can, like a link you can follow up with?
The thing is that the big document, for some reason, I can only locate it on the website in Hebrew and in Arabic. Can you make it with the Hebrew one?
Yeah, I can.
Okay.
I'll use it Google Translate. Is it a PDF file? It might be.
Yeah, it's a PDF file. Yeah.
They can change it with your cell phone.
Yeah.
I have a profound
But
respect
I
for Elon.
specifically screenshotted that specific portion because I thought it's short enough to read, and I'm interested to get opinions on.
Okay, let's see. This is like a tried and tested path to mutual security. What we've learned. Who are these people that is we?
Okay, so it's two-state, one homeland organization established by Israelis and Palestinians long before October 7th, the genocide. And this is their shortened bullet point about mutual security, that specific topic.
Okay, this group is called A Land for All. It's a joint movement of Palestinians and Israelis who share a simple but transformative vision. Two democratic sovereign states, Israel and Palestine, linked together in a confederation with gradual steps towards freedom of movement and residence for all. I think I've seen something similar to this.
Yeah,
right?
I spoke to you before probably because I'm hosting them this Friday.
This isn't, but there's an older version where basically there's two governments, but they allow residency.
In Arabic, maybe you've seen that one before.
Is this a new plan or
I think these documents are relatively new. I think before that they were drafted differently.
Okay, yeah, I think this is actually good. It's almost like a hybrid between 1 and 2 states, right? It gives
exactly, and it's an intermediate step on the road to a one step. It talks about it as an intermediate step and not yet, but we should read it for everybody and not talk over it.
Okay, so here's what it says. They don't believe in separation. What doesn't work is separation, which has impoverished Palestinians and delegitimized their public institutions while failing to deliver security with Israelis. What it does work is respect for human dignity and economic opportunity. What also works is mutuality and cooperation. And then they outline what they propose. Their vision, each state would have a sovereign authority over its own internal security, while both would commit to partnership in managing borders, shared intelligence, and cooperating to prevent violence and bring perpetrators to justice. Binding security commitments would be undergirded by strong joint institutions charged with serving both publics, not controlling them, and by guarantees from trusted international third parties. With the state of Palestine, Israel's military and security presence would rapidly be replaced with international forces within the state of Palestine. Freedom of movement and residence across the Israeli-Palestinian border would be phased in gradually to minimize security threats and economic shocks. Cooperation to address external threats would be embedded within a regional security framework. Beginning immediately, Israel should be pressed to revive its security paradigm and focus on individual threats emanating from either side, not collective restrictions on one side. All right, I like it.
So I will add a small portion that's not written here. What they talk about is two sovereign nation where you can be with open borders. You can be a citizen of Israel or a citizen of Palestine, but you can reside in each territory. If you're, for example, a Palestinian citizen that chooses to live in Israel territory, you will get residential rights. You can vote for municipal elections, but general elections, you vote for the Israel government. And both sides are completely demilitarized. The freedom of movement is between the two. Nobody can tell you where you can and cannot live, which take away displacement of settlements and all that thing. And of course, it includes a full right of return.
Actually, it sounds beautiful. Can we talk on the topic of Islam?
Brody was the one who introduced me to this, and I didn't even know this was out there. But it was.
I will say that one of the most important to me parts in this that doesn't appear in this specific portion is at the very beginning where they talk about mutual recognition, which effectively means that both Palestinians and Jews have a right to live in their ancestral land. Even though I dislike the symmetry being portrayed here, it can appease Zionists enough. And it might be a price worth paying. I'm not sure, but that is the problem I have with them is that I did not find the part where they talk about actual justice being applied. But generally speaking, what do you think?
Okay, so here's my question for you, Emrose. Is the reason you're bringing it up because it's gaining some traction? Because it's people have brought this up before and it was seen as unrealistic, right?
Yes. Roberto dedicated an entire chapter. Remember the last chapter in the book?
Okay.
This is exactly the Confederacy he's talking about. Their
Okay.
initiative. He's
That's like a viable path forward, a pragmatic path forward.
Yeah.
Is it getting traction beyond the Omar Bartovs of the world? Like,
So
Israeli?
the guy that I'm posting, actually made a comment on one of the standing together political party posts saying that they're going to endorse it. So if that's the case, that changes the entire paradigm. This is why I'm trying to collect opinions.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, thanks for flagging it. Very cool. Yeah, I mean, I heard about this and I was like really, because Rody
just start getting opinions if you can. I'm really interested to get.
Okay, you can talk to Rody. Rody's like a Zionist, but he's like,
Rody, but it's impossible to pin him down.
But he's the one who told me about this plan, even though he thought it was like a little bit of a pipe dream, a little bit of a long shot, right? But he
a little bit is like the understatement of the year.
Listen, at least it's a
plan. I think it's something that the international community can get behind and impose on Israel.
You think so?
Yeah, I do, Ellie. You really don't understand how much people hate us right now.
You have kind of misguided understanding what the international community
Hey,
cares
so
so much.
Go straight to insults, Ellie. Come on, try to be a little more gracious.
What was insulting?
You just insulted her intelligence. Please be nicer. Thanks.
No, he's right. She's delusional.
You're just making me look good and yourself look bad.
Yep, that's what's happening.
We're in the Yehudim Neged Ritzacham room, okay? So just behave yourself accordingly.
They don't even recognize the genocide, and they probably celebrate.
Who are you talking to?
Who's this?
Not you, Val.
Who's Val?
You're drama queens. They're talking to the audience always.
Okay.
Who's Val?
That one's a guy named Michael. He used to be Seymour Butts. He's just an idiot.
Is he?
He's like a provocative Jew. He criticizes Israel. He's a little bit of a Nazi though. Like he embraces some white supremacist views.
Ooh.
Like he's a little bit in the. He's just a little bit too on the internet. He's a little too online, so he absorbs a lot of conspiracies about Jews, but he is critical of Israel and thinks all the Zions are like he kind of doesn't care about the rules.
No. I mean,
Let's do.
I am what I believe to be a proponent of me physically in the natural world we live in today.
Oh my God.
I'm a proponent of America first.
Oh my God.
Spiritually, emotionally, all that. Okay, am Israel hot? Okay. But I live here. I was born here. I was raised here. This is my house. This is my home.
Makes sense.
America. So.
Okay, so he's one of those.
He's one of those. You can't even communicate with him.
I mean, it will be interesting if this plan gets traction. That would be cool.
Oh, it's going to get traction. I'm sure an international peacekeeping force will be descending upon Israel, a conglomeration, a confederacy of a demilitarized binational occupation force.
You're either against the genocide
She's delusional.
or you support it. That's the box. You're either
with us or you're against us. You're either an anti-Zionist or a Zionist. Nazi.
Then you're one of those that we live.
You're one of them.
You're part of the problem.
Yes.
What if I don't even know what's going on? What if I'm not intelligent enough?
That's right. Your ignorance is part of the problem. You're an ignorant problem maker.
What if I am not intelligible enough to make a decision or to have an opinion for those?
You just did.
Well, then you're just ignorant and explainable because of your stupidity. You're a stupid, ignorant troublemaker.
Didn't you just say Am Yisrael Chai?
You have to
He
trust
did.
the
He did.
experts.
Like a stupid, ignorant
It's not
troublemaker.
inherently offensive to say Jews should live.
No, but you know exactly what that stands for, so
He was-
that's why I continue to ask.
I'm sorry, one second. Am Yisrael Chai is offensive to you?
In order to make sure, I asked him about the genocide. Did I or did I not ask you about the genocide?
Figured it out.
Did I or did I not ask you about the genocide?
Is
that a dog whistle?
Yes. You're either against the genocide or you're not.
Some people are just morons, okay? Some people are just allowed to be morons if they want.
You have to
Afraid
trust
they
the
exist.
If I represent my country, United States, and I fly the American flag, does that make
He hates APAC. He hates our
I
American
don't care.
Israel meddling in our
Yeah.
politics.
I don't care. It doesn't matter if you're American, Japanese.
They play both sides all the time.
You stand against murdering 22,000 children, or you're
I
not.
had a better one for you, Ambrose. What if I'm Puerto Rican?
Doesn't matter. Are you human?
Then you are the problem.
Are you human? Do you believe there's any justification for starving any child anywhere ever?
What if I were to surprise you and tell you that I'm actually in the
It has nothing to do. I asked you whether you think there's justification for starving children anywhere, everywhere. No. Then why are you not speaking against what is being done in Gaza? Starving children.
Starving children in America too.
Because that's the only.
America
that's
also
wrong.
has starving children.
That's true.
That's wrong.
We're gonna
That's
say
wrong.
every starving child.
That's wrong. But
And
I
he's America
agree.
first, so he's worried about America's children.
Shouldn't we focus on
That's
starving
fine.
children?
That's fine. Is he against it?
It's apathetic.
And
And
he
what was
claimed
his
ignorance, and you
And
condemned
his
him.
response was, "What is a genocide?" I gave you the definition of a genocide. You still didn't answer me.
I'm borderline retarded, so I have no idea what's going on.
There we go.
True.
So you see, this is.
I mean, you said that earlier. You said that he was stupid.
You see, this is how I fit. No, this is how I fit you in a
You still
box.
condemned him.
Because when I talk about genocide, starving children, and 22,000 dead, murdered children, you talk about Nephilim and jokes. This is
Right.
how I know which box to put you in. See
Right.
how easy it was?
Wow, good one, Ambrose. You got him!
I think she condemned you.
You're in the box that would be quiet when the chambers, the same way you're quiet when other people are being
Damn,
starved to
come on.
death. Just because
Right.
it's
He already told you he's in the
You
retard
sat
box.
lazily
No other
by.
boxes, just the retard.
Talking about jokes when we talk about starving children puts him in a very, very
This is
specific
no
box.
laughing matter.
Listen, we all care about starving children. There are starving
responded
children
to
all
attempt
over
to
the world.
de-escalate
I just exemplified how I just exemplified how easy it was to put him in the right box. That's it.
What if I
In
care
the
about
box
black
he
kids
goes.
dying? What if I care about black kids dying in the United States? Like a disproportionate amount of like African Americans.
That's very good.
Why don't you care, Amber? Why are you concerned about it? Why aren't you talking about it anymore?
Yeah,
I do
and
care,
should
but
we
right
condemn
now
you
I'm more
It's pretty
busy
urgent
and
here.
work
Why
for
are
your
is
you
being done.
stupidity and ignorance?
Yeah, but it's not being done in my name with my tax dollars.
Ambrose,
Are you not a member of the West?
What are you
Do
objecting
you not
to?
hold the responsibility of the slavery of the transatlantic?
I am objectively trying to get as many people, especially right now in the Jewish diaspora, to openly become anti-Zionist so that as many public representatives
How does that help the African American?
can disarm, boycott, and sanction Israel. And I think the best chance of Israel being disarmed and forced into compliance is by having America finally reject it. This is why I spend my time talking to idiots like you.
How will that help the African?
Is that a good enough answer, Val?
That's a perfect answer. And
But
I
you're like
I know.
berating him for caring about his own domestic issues.
No, I
first.
didn't.
That's
I was
right.
berating
She
him
is.
for mocking a genocide and asking
You
what
didn't
is a
mock
genocide.
anything.
Then I asked you, are you against it, or I asked you, are you against it? And you asked me, what is a genocide? I answered you, and you still didn't.
He's
say
a trans maiden.
Listen, you thought hyperfixation on Israel's anti-Semitism a minute ago, okay? Bao is not hyperfixated in Israel. He only cares about his his own shit about America shit. What?
So he
He's
doesn't
the
talk
opposite
about
of
For
the
some
Palestine.
reason, Buttercup accuses him of Nazism.
He's
So he doesn't talk about Israel Palestine at all.
he kind of doesn't give a shit.
I
No.
have two.
Yeah, he was pretty clear from the beginning.
Arch.
He doesn't care.
I have a question and a statement.
He's the only one who's not fixated on Israel. Finally, the only
That's not true. He's
non-anti-Semite.
not the only one. You people just.
The only person in the world who's not an anti-Semite.
But aren't we here to talk to Jews?
Yeah, sure. What's up now?
So, hold on. Emrose, I do want to tell you that I do validate all your concerns and all the trials and tribulations
Archer.
you might endure. But at the same time, I just do want to tell you is that I do care about you. I care about you immensely. I think you're a wonderful person. I think you're beautiful inside and out. And I think the fact that you care really upholds the type of person you are. And I really don't negate any of your passions and your drive. So I do want to validate you.
Full harassment.
She is not. Holy shit, Bronstein's roasting that bitch, buttering her up for the fatal décompute.
Emrose, like I said, I am always here. Jesus Christ is always here. If you ever need him, we're both.
22,000 children were murdered on behalf of your faith or ethnicity or
22,000 slaughtered babies for your Zionism.
He's half Jewish, half Catholic.
Young
So
Thomas
the Catholics,
seven
like,
genocide.
Jews reject him. The Catholics reject him.
He's a reject, but he did just roast you. So what's it like getting roasted by a reject?
Very quickly and fully. Israel.
No, he won't, because he's
Yeah,
not.
they will.
Yeah, no. Yes, they will.
The
You
state
can make all that
will,
well.
the state will,
Because of his
the
father.
religious establishment won't.
I'm just trying to highlight to you the concerns.
He's Jewish enough to be part of the demographic majority, but his kids won't be Jewish enough to be part of the
So
demographic
bizarre.
majority.
Yeah, well, they're gonna find a nice Ethiopian Stucker.
No, you will still be forced into conversion.
No, get a Cuban and say that she was a crypto.
You won't be allowed to get
Like your
married
dad did.
because it's a fascist state.
My mother has never like espoused the fact that nothing about being crypto anything. That's fucking weird.
I know, just like throw it in there. Listen, if you move to Israel, backstory it up. She's a crypto.
There's so many hybrids in Israel. It's insane. Like,
Ton in the Americas. The Spanish pushed them out just as the Americas were discovered. So a lot of Jews ended up in the Americas, especially those islands that were Spanish occupied, like Puerto Rico.
Emrose, I just want to let you know that I'm not here to be your enemy. I'm here to kind of just be jovial and fun, like real talk. So I'm not your enemy. You don't ever have to attack me. Just FYI. Okay?
Right now, I see you more as a potential sexual harasser than an.
That's true.
Jesus Christ, what does your husband think of you? Fuck.
That's not nice. Ellie, you still there?
I am. I'm enjoying this very much.
The roast of Emrose.
While doing my house chores.
So do
From
you
the
agree that
ultimate
God is the
roast
only
becomes
non-anti-Semite
that
in the
way.
world because he doesn't give a fuck about Israel?
Whoa.
Hey,
Yeah,
I
you're
don't
boxing.
subscribe to the. I do not subscribe to the whole.
You're boxing me. You're boxing me. In the spiritual sense, I believe Israel has a place in my heart.
Manipulation tactic.
There we go.
But again, objectively now, here and now, my current concern is where we are going from here.
Did you ever visit Israel?
Yeah, many times.
So effectively, you would say that you are not a part of this because you took advantage of your ability to come to Israel at the expense of people who are denied who are part of this. So if you have taken advantage, because this is dangerous, because I was born and I have nowhere else to go. Hence, I am still a beneficiary of the occupation and I have the occupation to fight it.
So if you had a chance to leave, would you?
No, if I had a chance to leave, I would. Because of my daughter, by the way, not because of me. If I wasn't a mother, I would stay and fight the occupation until my last breath. But that doesn't change the fact that when you say that you
Fight the occupation to her last breath.
it's not true because you have actively used your Jewish privilege at the expense of the Palestinians that are now
Jewish
being
privilege.
genocided. So
Oh, look, YouTube disabled one of my live streams again. Oh, YouTube can't handle me. Over and over and over again, YouTube gives me community guideline strikes, deletes content. It's not even me saying shit. It's what people are saying on the internet.
How about I join your side and whatever organization you're part of right now that you're actively campaigning with, I will join you arm in arm, side to side, you and I together. You and I will parade in the marches and in the crowd, like you and I. What organization are you part of, and like what group of people do you belong with? Who can I join?
I can give you a list of organizations you're welcome to support.
So you're actually actively like outside parading and like
It's none of your business what I do.
Okay, so do you sit on Clubhouse all day, or are you outside and about? Like I'm kind of very.
Do you think that this is the trap that I'm going to fall for?
I don't know. I'm just curious because I will.
You think you're the only one who tried? You think you're the only one who tried? I mean, that's not an interesting line of questioning what I do in my private life and how I advocate and act, what type of an activist I am. Right now, I'm an entity talking to you. How not? It is private. Do you see my full name here?
No.
Did I choose to?
Melanie!
And it is private. Then by asking, what are you doing?
It's like saying it's a secret. It
is.
A secret if I tell you.
It is.
No, it's no longer a secret.
Yes, it is.
It's seen outwardly public. No longer it invalidates, it nullifies everything about you being private. Like wholeheartedly. Like you out here.
The fact that I choose to have an anonymous persona online doesn't change my activism in real life. And I am under no obligation to provoke. I'm not public though. How am I public? Do you see my name?
Doesn't matter.
Do you see how not? Yes, I'm a voice. That's all I am. But again, I'm not going to let you derail the conversation. If you want a list of organizations, yes, if you want a list of organizations you can support if you want to promote anti-Zionism and ending the genocide and the occupation, I'm happy to provide it. Any other question before I explain to you again why you are in the box of people who didn't speak up when the Holocaust was happening?
Wait, which Holocaust are we talking about?
You're like the people who didn't speak during the Jewish Holocaust, and you're one of the people who are not there. You're also one of the people not speaking.
276,000 people, Buttercup. Anyways, was it really 6 million, Buttercup? Alright, so anyways, Emerald, so wait, is the Holocaust...
Somebody get Benny Adam here. I think that's his job to deal with these lunatics. I'm serious, somebody DM Benny Adam. That's his specialty.
Danielle came back to see you, Emerald.
Oh, you came back for another one, honey? You really have a self-subjugation problem.
Projection alert! Projection alert! Self-subjugation and projection alert.
Aww.
This is the room that keeps giving. The giving room.
I wish you the best in your endeavor.
There was one casualty in the Montreal shooting.
I wish you well in your endeavors, and I wish you well and many successes with all things that you're doing.
מיכאל משה מזרחי נרצח במונטריאול.
Mrs. Rose, why you didn't
הירי היה ליד בית סליחה, היו שני הרוגים ופצוע אחד.
Rose, you speak Hebrew very well, and you're in Israel, and why didn't you reach out to the Israel government and tell them to invite the guy who saved the Jew in Australia? Why didn't
they
the
did
guy in Midland or something?
they went to visit him and they tried to make him into a token Muslim to validate Zionism.
No, I'm talking about Israel
I
government.
think,
Those
yeah,
people who
yeah,
visit
yeah,
them
yeah,
in
yeah.
Israel.
They sent an official, and I think they actually tried to invite him, and he rejected him. Thank God.
You know about they tried to invite him?
I think they did, and I think he said no.
No, they did not. They did not.
Either way, I hope he would have said no if they did, because nobody should be legitimizing this place right now.
It hurts that Muslim defending Jew, it destroyed their propaganda.
Yeah, but it has to be the job of the Jewish community, not the state of Israel. He was protecting Jews, not Israelis, not Zionists. And Israel has no business promoting this person as if he was defending Israel or its policies. He was defending innocent people that also happen to be Jewish. Because he didn't see a difference between one person or the other. He just saw somebody doing something bad. So Israel doesn't get to claim him as a Muslim who protects Jews. He's just a good person who did the right thing. And they don't get to use him to whitewash their own crime and hate. Sorry.
Don't be sorry, okay?
Fuck you. You make jokes about
This is
people
mental.
2,000 murdered children.
I didn't make jokes. I was talking
Yes,
about
you
it.
did.
No, I didn't.
I have a very good memory.
You think about that. Did you feel bad
So
about
you
doing
might be on the
it?
spectrum, Ambrose. Have you ever thought about getting like ASD, see if you might be on the spectrum at all, or no?
Again, when you go down the ad hominem route, you're only proving that I win the argument, that you have nothing left to say except for going after me personally. It makes you look ridiculous, not me.
You're definitely high functioning. No, that's cool though. I mean, look, I'm on multiple times as well, so high functioning.
See, Joe?
Well, if someone not a human, you cannot force him to be a human, right? Like, that's his decision.
They're human.
If he's
They're
gonna be a
part of-
human or animal, you cannot force him. It's
No,
his
they're
choice to be
human.
an animal.
They're just bad human. We're all human, unfortunately. But I don't label people animals. I just label them bad people with bad people who do bad shit. But he's right. I can't force you people to have a moral conscience or a soul. If you decide to bury it deep down inside it, beat it down every time it rears its head. Like, I don't know what else to do.
They advise, say what you need to say, and that's it. It's his choice. I'm sure he's.
But Joe, people are dying. I'm serious. I don't know what else to do.
I know. I'm seeing it today, this morning. They just bombed kids and women this morning in Gaza.
17-year-old child on her way to a final fucking exams. And she was the only survivor of her family. The only survivor, a 17-year-old kid. God,
Yes, she
the
went
entire
to
family
high school.
erased from existence. Her entire family killed during the genocide. But they had to go and bomb her too. But yeah, I keep screaming, Am Yisrael Chai. Islamofascism, bitch.
Well, what goes
And
along
surprise,
don't trust
they
me.
go
Israel
shoot
will pay the price.
synagogues and Jewish people because you all claim to do it for the Jewish faith, and you put gigantic Magen David in every fucking destroyed neighborhood under graves of Palestinians, and you don't understand why they fucking hate the Jews. You're gonna get us all fucking killed again, Ellie, especially people like you.
And when there's a new resistance group comes, let's call them Hamas 2026, they say, why do you do that, October 7th? Well, of course, I'm against to kill any innocent. I was disgusted from Hamas. I'm pro-Hamas, used to be, honestly. But to take innocent people from Israel, I was 100% against it. If they took IDF soldier, I'll be proud. I'll be 100% with October 7th. But I was not. To take old women, girls, boys.
Yeah, but you see, the problem is that Israelis have opposition members who stood on the podium, not Ben Gvir, not Smotrich, the children in Gaza brought it upon themselves. See? That's the difference. This is what you fucking support them.
Oh, wow. The Zionists did it to themselves.
I gotta hop off. I'm gonna make you all mods and you can close the room anytime, okay? We'll see what you guys can.
Joe, did you happen to listen to what Buttercup said before about the one two-state, one homeland initiative?
I did not.
I'm hosting a friend of mine, Dr. Clara Boras, on X on Friday, and we're going to talk about the initiative founded by his father called One Homeland, Two State. It talks about a demilitarized binational confederacy.
Demilitarized binational confederacy.
There will be two sovereign nations with open borders, shared intelligence, shared security, and full right of return to all Palestinians, but it's not exactly a two-state solution, and I think it's important that there is full right of return and full freedom of movement, but it is a framework that can lead to potential one-state solution.
100% with one-state solution, but they will never allow that. They will never have equal rights to the Palestinians.
I know, this is why we're talking about with Buttercup. There's a lot of noise coming from your community.
I'm sorry, guys.
Because we know one state is not feasible in the near future, simply because Israel's society needs to be de-radicalized and Palestinians honestly need time away from Israelis. But a two-state solution is obviously that. But this proposes something, a structure that can actually be something that the international community might consider imposing on Israel. And I think it's a good, solid, bone structure for something feasible that can actually lead to a one state at the end, and not the way they always talk about it as a two-state and that's the final, the final answer. No, this is a demilitarized, full right of return confederacy that is supposed to lead to a one-state situation. What do you think? I know it's like utopian to some extent. Generally speaking.
I have no idea, but I know for sure there is no equal right now between the Israel Arab and Israel
Of course, it's more close to a full-on apartheid between the river and the sea. If we don't do something quick, there will be no Palestinians left within a decade. We need to find a way to stop.
Gotta do something quick. Gotta find a way to stop the Zionists.
That makes me laugh so hard when every time I talk to them. Hey, look, we're not Arab living here. We have rights. People right my ass.
Yesterday, the first Palestinian 48 that was taken into administrative detention, aka kidnapped, died in Israel torture camps. That's the first time it's happened to a citizen of Israel. Yes, Palestinian, but still a citizen of Israel. That's after two of them were revoked of their citizenship because of some bullshit charge. So Palestinians 48 are now also being genocided.
To this execution plan they have, being feared the terrorist. Execution just apply for the Arab.
Oh no, we need this confederacy of the demilitarized binational statehood. We gotta do something quick.
Issue a death sentence.
Got 10 years left and there's no Palestinians left. They won't be genocided.
Act that was rooted in the intention to prevent the Jewish people.
This room might go all day.
So clearly, even a Jewish terrorist cannot operate from that.
This room is a
So
banger.
even if they recognize he's a terrorist, they don't have to sentence him to death. But if he did it because he's a Zionist, a gay Palestinian, then you have an obligation to sentence him to death. This is how evil this fucking legislation is. And by the way, there's no right to appeal, and it has to be done within 90 days just to make sure they really get him. And they needed a legal excuse because we've seen broad daylight executions in the West Bank on a daily basis in the past 2 years.
But really, I
I'm
see.
very angry, Joe. I'm fucking angry.
Trust me, I lost a family member
I know.
in Palestine because of this motherfucker. I've witnessed their crimes in my own eyes. I've seen it. Like, nobody told me. I've been there. I've seen what they're fucking doing. And they have no respect to kids, women, old men. And even in the checkpoints, such a formulation, they are doing it in purpose, intent to emulate.
They're trained to do it. This is part of keeping the population oppressed and subjugated.
Yes, even the old woman, even in the history of fucking the terrorist state of Israel, since they are founded like in 1948, you will not find a single Palestinian woman over 50 years did a terrorist attack. But guess what? They still treated her as a fucking terrorist. Even the woman never did a terrorist attack in Palestine or Israel. They still targeted and treated as a terrorist. I was treated as a fucking terrorist. I am an American and I've never harmed a single Jew or anyone. And I've been treated at the Huckabee, this motherfucker, this Huckabee. This
He's
is like
I'm boiling. He's a truly maniac one.
He's a fucking Israeli agent. This motherfucker, the way how he defends Israel every single moment, it makes me sick and I want to vomit in his fucking mouth. This son of the bitch, Zionist dirty dog. He care about the Americans. He truly showed Tucker Carlson that he's Israeli agent. He never cared about Americans. Do you know how many Americans killed by Israeli in Israel? Guess what? More than 15 cases. And guess what, Huckabee? He never hold them accountable. He's not a fucking American. He's a fucking traitor. Like this son of the bitch who this guy who was a spy with the CIA? What's his name?
Jonathan Pollard?
Yes, this fucking dirty Zionist pig.
Yeah. And see, Huckabee's not Jewish. It's the Zionism that pushes them into complete psychosis.
Like some Arab, unfortunately, like him. There is so much Arab, not a lot.
Did you hear the UAE just hosted an entire delegation of liberal Zionists, including the former head of the Shabak, Ronen fucking Bar, the same guy that sat in the command center the same night that Israel fucking murdered 278 children in one goddamn night. And that's the one that the UAE is hosting with his wife. But you're quiet all of a sudden? Nothing to say about the former head of the Shabak? It doesn't matter to you that the head of the Shabak is overseeing an operation that killed 278 children in one day, in one night?
Do I have to depend on science?
You kind of have to stand against it.
You're talking about the topic. Interested in it?
Then why are you here? Leave. Well, clearly you're interested because you're listening.
Archer
Radio.
Yeah, you're right, Joe. You can't force them. You can't.
Well, here I've seen those people like him in America, old people. We show them pictures of people, kids in Gaza, and we show them video footage proof what they're doing. They just walk away. They just act blind and just walk away. But if we told them those kids is Jewish, guess what? The humanity show up, and all of a sudden, oh my God, poor Jewish kid.
Yeah. I hope you started to think of what you're going to tell your grandchildren, Helly, one day when they asked you What were you doing during the Gaza Holocaust? And you have to look them in the eye and tell them the truth.
You're trying to drag me into a conversation in which no,
I'm just going to say goodbye by saying fuck Israel, free Palestine.
Adios, amigos. Is that still there?
Yeah, what's up?
What an obnoxious bitch.
They come in all shapes and sizes. That's more fun.
Hmm? At least I have finished all my dishes.
That's the real moral of the story.
While they moan and bitch, we are being productive.
Yeah, my boyfriend good at keeping the children.
Arch!
He's going to.
Ribo Shalom, another Emrose miracle. Day, dat, dam. Day, dat, dam. Day, dat, dam. Again. Day, dat, dam. Emrose. So I tried to get Grok to do an analysis on her document about the incoming multinational peacekeeping force to create a binational demilitarized zone. And I mean, holy fuck. I mean, talk about a highly annoying person or an extremely annoying person. Emrose, in my opinion, based on 43 years of living, She has to be one of the most top 10 highly annoying people I've ever encountered in my life. And so I'm submitting her to the Highly Annoying People Awards of 2026. M. Rose, you could be the winner for the world's most annoying person. It's really quite an accomplishment if you think about it linguistically, in terms of creating sound, in terms of repetition. And she says that she is willing to resist the occupation until her last breath, which is amazing. That's real commitment. And you have to, respect people's will to really follow a thing through. And, Michael Braunstein brought up a good point when he said, what does your husband think of you? And that really made them think. And I'm just saying that if you haven't, honestly, at the root of all these problems is atheism. Because if you are an atheist, by default, you hate books. And if you hate books, you hate words. And as you heard her say, Islamofascism is a no word. You cannot say Islamic fascism. No. That is not right.
I didn't say Islamic fascism. I said Islamofascism.
Yeah, I don't think it's really like a prohibited term. Like there's Christian nationalism. I don't think that's like a hate term against Christians.
No, but Christian nationalism is okay to say, but because it has the word Christian and something negative attached to it. And Islamofascism cannot be said because it has the word Islam and something negative attached to it. Don't you understand?
No.
It's it must be double speak.
Newspeak.
Oh, my friend is here. Thank God.
Wait, it's what?
We're
Double speak, no?
Ellie, I gotta say, man,
Double speak is when you say a word and it means something else. Newspeak.
Orwellian was
Newspeak is like the broader term for like any word having a new meaning as part of someone's mental control over you.
Okay.
Well,
what were you about to say?
I was going to say, they kept accusing you of doing ad hominem and therefore you lost the debate, but she kept calling you a bitch and saying, fuck you, Zio. So I'm just wondering if the same rules apply to her.
Yes, they do.
I was trying to explain in two languages to her that I completely don't want to talk to her. I don't care about what she has to say, that she's annoying. She's not interesting to me. And she was like, you have to talk to me. Please engage. Please engage. You must engage. If you don't want to engage, you're a bad person. Well, you lost the
Okay.
because you don't want to engage.
All right, we didn't engage.
So you were trying to bring up the...
Eeyore can be happy in his own way.
Ellie, you were trying to bring up the point that what she is saying, that what Buttercup was saying is anti-Semitic. And so...
No. What I was trying to say is that Buttercup's explanations of what causes people to be fixated on Israel sounds a lot what Jews describe as anti-Semitism.
Right. Yeah. Okay, so... Well, one thing is I did see this former neo-Nazi shoot a video with Chabad, and he was talking about Jewish obsession and how every day, all his communication, everything was dedicated toward anti-Semitic communication. And then he had like an awakening. He's like, what the fuck is wrong with me? Like, I can't stop. Like, it was an addiction. So for some people, linguistically, communication, they're able to rationalize using anti-Semitism. And that in itself is a cognitive distortion disorder, according to, behavioral therapists. And so what's so crazy about Amrose and Buttercup is when you listen, like I was here in Anon, and the projection from them is so accurate. And I think the big term she used was like, I don't know, not like, I can't remember the exact term, but she was saying that it's like self-destruction. she is basically a self-destructive Jew because yeah. I mean, I don't know how you view security, but when you are surrounded by the Muslim world, that small 1% or even less is a threat. And so this obsession that I was talking about earlier, it's a psychological, malady. And it's unfortunate, but it results in security and physical violence and harm.
In her case, she's just a plain old narcissist. The malignant kind.
Well, I think it's more than that. We have to create a new category. It sounds so bad and off-putting that they will never be effective in the communication transmission they're trying to distribute because fingernails on a chalkboard. That's what she literally sounds like. Is fingernails on a dusty chalkboard.
Our only hope is that the same people will outnumber those crazy motherfuckers.
See,
sense will prevail.
No, Israel will always survive because of the Orthodox, because of their conservatism. That's the truth. And they don't have to serve in the military. It's just not needed. Let them be conservative, because the more conservative they are, the more they will reject liberal progressivism and these lies and propaganda. It's just not part of their communication paradigm. They don't even engage in it. And so they automatically say there's a wall. Like, sorry, we're not going to have these conversations with you. Like, we're interested in the GOD, not your atheistic propaganda bullshit. Like, it's just nonstop.
I personally see many issues with the Haredi community that I don't think that they are the natural allies of the rest of the Israeli community.
See, that's where I differ, because I don't think you're viewing it in the totality in the same way that maybe India lets their Brahmins do their weird stuff in conjunction with nationalism. So it's like, basically, it's the actual natural order to have this priestly class or these hyper-religious people in a nationalistic state, which are disassociated from the power structure.
But they're not dissociated. This is the issue. They're not dissociated with from the power structure.
No, I get that. I'm saying not totally dissociated.
They are the most effective electoral force in Israel. And like, the saving grace is that they're like still in a small enough minority, but they have been hogging the Israeli politics for years now, because they have been extremely effective.
No, I stand corrected. I mean it in a way that, like, it appears dissociated because it's not the majority, but even in, like, the Texas legislature, I've heard that the small Democrat minority in the Texas legislature actually, in a way, like, directs the movement of the caucus, if that makes any sense. So, like, how does a minority group have such a huge communication impact on the collective network or the collective unconscious? It's because it's basically an environment, organism. But I'm just saying that either way, no matter what, Emrose will always go down in history, in terms of my observations, as being one of the most annoying people I've ever heard in my life. She is basically like an Eastern European communist, cackling, communist, like somebody where, like, if you're out on the battlefield, she'd still be out there, like, muttering the party's slogans. Like, do you hear the shit she says? It's so communistic sounding, socialist. It's like so fucking amazing.
She blocked me, actually, so I haven't heard the shit that she says in a very long time. What was the shit that she was saying today?
She was claiming.
I assumed that for Europe.
Fuck Israel.
We only have 10 years till every Palestinian is genocided, so we gotta act quick. We only have 10 years left before the goose, or what's that bird that went extinct? What was that goofy bird? The dodo. She claims that all the dodo birds are going to go extinct in 10 years unless we act quick.
You're going to go the way of the dodo?
Yeah. And anyways, I recorded this whole thing. Like, her talking points are remarkable. It's all white versus brown, North versus South, and there's other key talking points that she repeats over and over and over again. I mean, I really do think she has like
And she had a
limited.
crazy Confederacy solution for.
Yeah, the Confederacy is coming back to Israel. In a multinational peacekeeping force to demilitarize and free Palestine, to liberate Palestine forever.
God bless, it's a confederacy, not a federacy.
Anyways, her Friday talk, like I've heard her on X Spaces in huge anti-Semite rooms, and but Grok refused to analyze her document for some reason and give me 10 key extracts. Just Grok would not comply with my requests.
And Grok, it's ChatGPT.
I've insulted Grok many times now, and I think Grok, is discriminating against me now. It's amazing. If you insult AI, it will like take a punitive stance against you and not help you get the data or information you're looking for.
Wow. Just fill these dials. You Zion.
So many people don't know what you can and cannot say in terms of free speech on platforms. Obviously, you can't talk about the S word, which ends with the L word. That is a keyword that will trigger an automated shutdown.
What's the S word that ends with the L word?
Sui, you can't use that word.
Sui.
Let's just not say the word, okay? I can put it in the chat for you. But
Self-deletion.
Yeah, self-deletion. You can't use that word in the chat.
That word. You could have just said the euphemism, which is unalive.
Unalive.
Oh, unaliving, yeah.
Other things you can't say is you cannot talk about LGBTQ. You just can't. It is a protected class. Cannot do it. But you can talk.
Watermelon rainbow.
You can talk about the J words all day long, but you cannot talk about Muslims because that's Islamophobic. So you see the double standard on these platforms that they allow the Free Palestine propaganda and the J word anti-Semitic hate speech, but they will not let you talk about Islam, Muhammad, Aisha. That's all considered Islamophobia, and that is a protected class. And so the LGBTQ fascism and extremism is amazing because when you talk about double standards, like people aren't out promoting, heterosexual activity and being heterosexual extremists. It doesn't exist because that's the natural order of the situation. But when you call out LGBTQ as being fascistic or Democrat vote organizing or queer brainwashing to eliminate any type of masculinity and totally, feminize young men to make everybody queer, that is considered hate speech. And there's nothing to be proud about hate speech, but here are some facts that the media will not tell you. 58% of homosexuals have problems with intestinal worms. 1 in 15 homosexuals are a pedophile. 33% of homosexuals have problems with alcohol. On average, a gay man has up to 80 sexual partners per year, and on average, a total of 1,000 over a lifetime. On average, a straight man has 8 sexual partners in his lifetime. There's a perfect...
Wow, that's the average 8 sexual partners in a lifetime?
That's what the data says. Perfect.
Holy moly.
This is...
Oh my
Hold on
God.
a second. Perfect. There is a perfect correlation between childhood rape and homosexual behavior. A perfect correlation, 100%. 47% of gays admit to have being raped by an adult man during their childhood.
How is that 100%?
It's a perfect correlation between childhood rape and homosexual behavior. Just let me finish the list. Homosexuals represent 2% of the world's population, but they represent 33% of pedophile rapists. 78% of homosexuals have STDs. 23% of children with lesbian parents have been sexually abused. Homosexuals represent 2% of the world's population, but they have 60% of the AIDS virus. And 51% of cases of domestic violence occur in same-sex couples. So over half of all the domestic, 911 calls, over half are all gay couples. Isn't that amazing? Can't say that on the news.
Where is that from?
That's from Uranus, a new news agency I recently launched to counter the LGBTQ fascistic, socialistic, communistic, progressive, pluralistic, elite intellectual propaganda.
My name is kind of gay.
Well, I asked Grok to fact check this infographic that I just read to you, and Grok said, "Silly goose, that's all myths. None of that's true, bitch." I said, "Grok, are you gay?" He said, "No, but I support LGBTQ and Democrat elite, progressive, liberal pluralism values." I said, "I thought you were supposed to be the conservative AI." And Grok said, "Fuck you, bitch. I am beautiful." You are beautiful. Anyways, Ellie, thank you for debating the butter. Basically Emrose Mosa.
I was avoiding debating, but you know.
Well, it was fun because you're a nice guy, so you're not kicked from the stage. You're considered weak and effeminate. Yeah, you're considered you could cross over. Yeah, you're not mean is what I'm saying. If you were mean, they would kick you. I'm not saying that is a weakness. I'm just saying that I'm just saying that let me take back the weak word. Let me just say that you are tolerated.
Friendly.
Yeah, you're tolerated because they know that you're not going to cross too severe of lines with them, and make them emotionally feel terrible, You're somebody that they can fight with and survive.
It's because I don't fight.
But I love how Cup keeps saying, I work in the media. I work in the media.
You forgot I work in the media.
Well, what is is that a credibility statement? You got an X account or something? What do you... who really works in the media is our girl Yael, Bird Honks. She's got the biggest account out of anybody.
Monica probably was really proud of her blue badge before it became commoditized.
Buttercup.
It was actually probably the greatest abuse that those people have to go through.
Yeah,
Stripped of the privilege of the almighty blue badge.
Yeah, Elle blocked me on X Spaces or on X.
Oh, by the way,
I think blocking people is incredibly gay.
Well, yeah, Elle, Canadian.
Yeah, I know. She told me to go seek a therapist.
That's it. Projection is a motherfucker when you realize that all communication is projection. I literally have trans gay men on Instagram and on X making death threats to me, and and then on top of the death threats, they say you are a pedophile lover. And I write back, projection alert, and then I tag Kash Patel. And when you look at these guys' profiles and they're all dressed up as women and they have beards and shit, you're like, damn, projection is a motherfucker. So yeah, Al has blocked me on all of my accounts. And you know what I do after somebody blocked me? I say, hey, Grok, add this profile to my block list. Add this account that has blocked me to my ongoing blocked tracker.
Oh, she also told me that I'm still 18 June.
Another projection alert. It's amazing. Like, I don't know. I've never heard anybody tell me, like, you're projecting unless I bring it up, which I find alarming. Is that people are so self-unaware that they don't know they're just like in a chronic state of repetitive projection. And how can you just, at some point you have to realize, like, okay, I'm a shameless propagandist, a shameless projector. And as she said, she's willing to die for her propaganda. And it's amazing.
We should start such a horrible lie.
What?
This is such a lie. She's not willing to do anything. And she was very triggered when she started the actual what she said and about her activism. And a private person.
Fuck you, bitch. Zion Nazi. Zion Nazi, bitch. Fuck you, Zion Nazi. Zion Nazi said what? Zion Nazi said what? See, I'm their worst enemy because, like, no one has the time to document, record, and roast these people. And most people are not willing to, like, record them and, post it on X and say, here's, the unauthorized MROs. But I will, and I'm about to do that. I'm about to, gaslight her on X. And I had another room open recording the room called You Got a Little Triggered, which is basically saying, you got a little gaslit. I have people on YouTube saying, and I hated my dad, but John helped me. And John is the only man that can create 9 times the content in real time. Only John. Mayoral candidate. Vote John Kitover before it's too late. Vote John Kitover. It's better than nothing. But this has been another episode of Somebody Got a Little Triggered. That's the name of the show. You Zion Nazi fuck. You bitch. Like, what is Emrose? I liked how Michael Bronstein was like, I want to validate everything you said. I support you, and I wish you success in all your endeavors. And I just want to know, like, did your parents ever, like, hold you as a child and, like, kiss you and love you and cuddle you? Like, what happened to you is, like, what he was trying to say.
Wait, is that the guy that is quite good with computers?
Michael Bronstein?
Yeah.
He doesn't even know how to unzip his pants. Oh yeah, I think he's working in IT, but
Yeah, I think that's what I'm thinking of.
yeah, he lives in Boca. He goes by Bow Wow.
He also triggers people.
I know. I don't find him to be, like, a highly annoying person. I think he's just like a funny, nice, normal guy. But if you're just like a normal dude nowadays, that means you're far right. You're a far right wing extremist if you're just like a normal guy.
Well, just to be clear, you are a far right extremist.
No, I'm not. I'm not.
What are you kidding?
Why? Because I don't want violence?